quarterback sacks. Number 8, Archie Manning, the 10-year veteran from Mississippi, sacked repeatedly in those 6 losses. And the reason? Well, the offensive line simply has not held its ground. The receivers have not run their routes. And we ask Archie Manning about the pressure he's expected to face in the Atlanta Falcons.
We feel like we could be a good play-action passing team. And so we've got to put some runs in there. And we've got some linemen that are working awful hard and some backs that are running hard. We feel like we can spring something, at least enough to keep people honest and let our play-action passes come in along with our drop-back passing.
The record of the Atlanta Falcons, 3 up and 3 down, 1 game behind the leading Rams in the Western Division. You can see there 4 of the last 6 games decided in the last 2 minutes of play between the Saints and the Atlanta Falcons. And we asked Steve Bartkowski about the importance of this big rivalry.
Well, it just seems like every year there's something in the air. It seems as though each team tries to play their best football of the year against one another, and it's something you can't really explain. I guess it goes back to the old college years where there's just some teams that you like to beat and some teams that you enjoy playing against.
Live from the Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, the NFL on CBS presents the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints. There's the record of the Atlanta Falcons, 3 and 3. The New Orleans Saints, as we have told you, are winless with their record of 0 and 6. Live from the Superdome. Hello, everybody. I'm Jim Kelly. Sonny Jurgensen alongside for this big battle in the NFC West. This is a game, Sonny, that I think, because of the rivalry, is so important to the Saints to keep it going and keep it close in the early going.
The early stages are very important for a losing team because they go into a game expecting something to happen badly to them. The winning teams, on the other hand, they think that something's going to happen good where they're going to win the football game. But the Falcons, on the other hand, I think if they don't play well early, they can still stay in the football game because they have a lot of weapons. One of their weapons has to be Steve Bartkowski, but of course, William Andrews, a guy that came into the league as a blocking back, has been an outstanding running back and receiver for him. He's an outstanding fullback. He's the one that can be a very important factor in this football game today. There you're taking a look at his stats, and you can see 23 receptions already. Excellent running back, and also an excellent receiver. He does it all.
Well, as you can see, the Atlanta Falcons have won the toss. They will receive and defend the south goal. Benny Ricardo, number 1, will kick it off for the New Orleans Saints. The deep backs, number 16, Reggie Smith, the smallest player in the NFL, at just 5'4", is back there to receive. And this football game is underway. Ricardo, a wobbly end-over-end kick, taken at about the 15 and dropped. Well, the Saints have been plagued by mistakes. That's Anthony Anderson, number 33, brought down in there by number 83, Tinker Owens. And the Saints, who are plagued by mistakes, watch the Atlanta Falcons fumble the opening kickoff, but get it back. So Atlanta, 3 up and 3 down in the NFC West, will break out first. Steve Bartkowski at quarterback, number 10, working with Wallace Francis, his extraordinary tight end, number 89. Number 80 on the right side is Junior Miller. Backs lined up in an I formation. Running backs in the I. Wide receivers are left and right. Bartkowski from the 23 of the New Orleans Saints. Lynn Kane in the vicinity of the 25-yard line. Barry Bennett, 63, Sonny, in there on the tackle.
Well, they've got to play well defensively. Strength is something that has bothered the Saints. You're taking a look at that defensive line. Grooms Bennett has moved up in place of Fultz. Derlin Moore in there. The linebackers, Fettisfield's back for Kovage. And you see the secondary, another rookie starting. Dave Weymouth starting at one corner in place of Ricky Ray.
Jeff Van Oak, 57 at center, leads the Atlanta Falcons out. Bartkowski over the ball. They line up in a slot to the right. Man in motion now is Wallace Francis from the I formation on 2nd and 9. That's Francis, shy of first down yardage. Waymer, 44 from Notre Dame. The rookie right cornerback came up to make the tackle.
Boy, they tested him early. They went right to him, and he made a good tackle in the open field on Francis. And
obvious passing situation now for Bartkowski. He works with James Mayberry, 39 in the backfield, number 39, along with Lynn Kane, number 21. 3rd down, 6 yards to go for Bartkowski, who came in with 9 touchdown passes, 5 interceptions, and a 56% completion ratio. Wide to the left side, Alfred Jenkins, number 84. Francis at the top of your screen to the right side. Bartkowski on the inside handoff to James Mayberry. First down, Falcons.
You talk about confidence when you have 3rd and 6 situation. You come out, you run a misdirection play. James Mayberry in there, second year out of Colorado, picks up a first down. Take a look at, you see one back going in one direction, Kane going away, and it caught him by surprise. They were expecting the pass. Good piece of running by Mayberry.
Mathis 56, Hart 53, and they're on the tackle. First out of the ball game from the 39 of the Falcons. Lynn Kane, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield.
Well, you can see exactly what the game plan is of the Atlanta Falcons. They're coming right out, taking it to them, but it's going to be called back for a holding call.
But check the referee, who today is Jerry Seaman. He wears number 17. But as Sonny called it, it's holding against the Atlanta Falcons to negate that fine run by Lynn Kane, the second year back from USC.
That's the kind of break that the Saints need to keep them. Well, they want to be in this football game. They don't want to get out early. They can keep everybody inspired. Let's listen.
Holding number 57, offense.
That's Jeff Van Oak, the center, a 12-year man from Kentucky. So it's now 1st and 20 for Bartkowski and company. He sends number 85, Alfred Jackson, out wide to the left side. Alfred Jenkins at the top of the screen to the right side. Kane in motion. He's got Kane. Across the 30 in the vicinity of the 35, Barry Bennett. 3rd-year man from Concordia ran him out of bounds, along with Clarence Chapman from Eastern Michigan.
They had double the outside receivers that time. Clarence Chapman came up, made a play, but a good piece of running by Francis. Gets the ball upfield, and they pick up a gain.
Short gain, though, Sonny, only 4 yards. So it'll bring up 2nd down and about 16 yards to go.
The good piece of running got him out those 4 yards, because he could have been trapped behind the line of scrimmage.
Jackson checks out. Wallace Francis is back in, number 89. So your wide receivers are Jenkins, 84, Francis, 89. Jenkins to the near side, Francis to the top. Running backs are Kane and Andrews. Bartkowski on 2nd and 16. In the vicinity of Lynn Kane, Darylyn Moore, the man who was chasing Bartkowski around back in the pocket.
A little pressure that time. Of course, the pass broke down. You could see the timing wasn't there on the play-action fake. And when he went back, he couldn't find anybody. He was just looking. Take a look at it again. You see right here, he fakes to Kane, comes back. He can't throw the ball when he wants to. It's going to be a screen pass to Kane. Kane's behind a lot of people, so he just throws it away.
Like I said, in the vicinity of.
In the vicinity of.
3rd down, 16 yards to go for the Atlanta Falcons. They line up in a slot to the left side. Francis to the top. Kane and William Andrews are the running backs. Bartkowski on 3rd down. Sends everybody out. Sideline left. In and out of the hands of William Andrews, the leading rusher and the leading receiver for the Atlanta Falcons. The Saints will get the football.
Well, he didn't have enough. He wanted to go deep. There was good coverage that time. He threw the ball to the sidelines. It would not have picked up a first down by any means. They had a long way to go. You see him going back, just throwing. He's looking downfield first. Can't find anybody, and that's why he just comes off, throws the ball out. Should have been a completion, but not a first down. It still had about 12 yards to go.
John James, averaging 39 yards every punt, is back to kick it away for the Falcons. Rich Maudie, number 24. They call him the Pete Rose of football, Sonny. Back to receive for New Orleans. And they'll let it bounce, and it takes a good bounce for the Atlanta Falcons inside the 20-yard line, where Ray Strong, number 25, is first down. And the New Orleans Saints get position 1st and 10, their first possession of the football game. No score. We're in the opening quarter. 12:21 left to go. So with 12:21 left to go in quarter number 1, there's a timeout for the score. The Atlanta Falcons nothing, and the New Orleans Saints nothing. The football game, Sonny, for the New Orleans Saints. The coach, Dick Nolan, told us before the game he thinks his squad should play with the same kind of intensity they did last week against Detroit, even though they lost. That's if they're to be in this football game.
I think they will, and they just need to get off to a good start. I think we both made that point. No mistakes.
From the New Orleans 19-yard line, busting up the middle, Mike Strawn, a six-year man from Iowa State, Jim Laughlin, in there 51 on the tackle.
Archie talking about running play-action passes. In order to get the people defensively to honor the play action, you have to be able to run the ball a little bit. And these are the people that are going to have to do it. That front line, they're going to have to move people.
And they're the wide receivers to whom Archie Manning will be throwing, and the backs to whom he'll be handing off the ball. Archie Manning comes in with 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and a 63% completion ratio. There's the book on Archie Manning. Mike Harris wide to the left side. Wes Chandler to the near side. Running backs are split on 2nd and 4 for the Saints. Mike Strawn, his second consecutive carry in the vicinity of the 25-yard line. Buddy Curry, number 50, the right side linebacker for the Atlanta Falcons, in there on the tackle.
Taking a look at the Atlanta Falcon defense. Richardson, the linebackers there. Richardson, Laughlin starting in place of Pennywell. Curry, outstanding. He's having an outstanding year as a rookie. 4 rookies at linebacker. The secondary has been somewhat of a problem at the cornerback position. The defensive line, Yates, Pomawina, and Mara.
3rd down for the Saints, 2 yards to go. Harris to the far side, Chandler to the near side. Backs are Strawn and Tony Galbraith. Manning's first pass. Oh, long. Wes Chandler. First down and more. Kenny Johnson, the man who was beaten on the play. That's Brooke Williams, number 88, the 3rd-year man from North Carolina. Half the field, Sonny, and the first down of the football game for the New Orleans Saints.
A good, smart play that time because they run away. Archie is rolling out. Something you don't like to do is throw back across the field after rolling out. But this was a design play. Williams split the zone. Nobody around him. They didn't anticipate it. And wide open and a big gain and a big play for the Saints. 56 yards.
Big tight end, Brooke Williams, 6'4", 226, his 3rd year from North Carolina. Jack Holmes, Mike Strawn are the running backs. Manning operates now from the Atlanta 18. 1st and 10 Saints. Wes Chandler, touchdown. Sonny, we talked about the importance of the Saints keeping it close. We didn't mention New Orleans going on top.
New Orleans has gone up on top. Take a look at this, a play action again. The same thing he talked about, going to play action, avoiding the rush, throwing the ball off balance, wide open, Wes Chandler. Jerry Glanville told me before the game, you take it as you look at it again, they didn't have anybody that could cover Mr. Chandler, and you see why. You see how open he was for the touchdown.
Benny Ricardo on the point after. Tommy Myers to hold. Snap, spot, kick, perfect. Saints jump out in front as New Orleans goes 82 yards in 4 plays, 75 yards on 2 plays. And so we've got 9:53 left to go in quarter number 1. The Saints have struck quickly. They lead 7-0 against the Atlanta Falcons.
Again, take a look. The touchdown pass. Watch Manning. What an excellent job having the strength in his arm to throw the football off balance. He moves away from the rush, just steps up on one leg, makes a very accurate throw for the touchdown. Wide open, Wes Chandler.
And 9:53 left to go in the first quarter. New Orleans 7, Atlanta nothing. Benny Ricardo all set to kick it off. The deep man is Reggie Smith, number 16 for the Atlanta Falcons. Again, a short kick. This one better than the last one, taken at the 5 by Reggie Smith. Fumbles the ball, but it's after, I believe, after the whistle. Brought down by number 59, Chuck Evans. Sonny, does he remind you at all of Charlie Toller, the old Houston Oiler?
Yes, he does. Only 5'4", but what an exciting player he is.
Take another look.
He goes to his right, doesn't see anything. This isn't the way they try to teach returning kickoffs, changing a lot of directions. He's more or less showing you how you should return a punt. You're supposed to go straight ahead on the kickoff, but he almost broke the thing then.
The ball now on the Falcons' 21-yard line. 1st and 10 to go for Bartkowski and company. Running backs, Lynn Kane, 21, William Andrews, 31. Kane out wide to the left side, slot to the right. Bartkowski on the pitch back to Andrews. Not much. Ray Brown, 27 from West Texas State, a 10-year veteran in there on the tackle, the man that got to him first, and then the 8-year man from Oklahoma, Darylin Moore, 6'4", 254.
Boys, we take a look at that scoring drive. 4 plays, 82 yards. They didn't waste a lot of time.
Well, like I said, 2 plays covered 75 yards. First, the big pass to Moore, the tight end, that set it up. Second down and 9 as Andrews picks up just 1. Alfred Jenkins wide to the left side. Barkowski needs 9. Incomplete. Clarence Chapman from Eastern Michigan, the man who is guarding Alfred Jenkins.
This is exactly, Jim, what the Saints need going into this football game and here in the first quarter for them to play well. This is where you get 100% effort from everyone. Look at this, huh? 10-10, Dallas, Philadelphia, all tied up. Now it's just gone to 17-10.
That's a big ball game for both teams. They're 5-1 tied in the division on paper, but the Eagles have a loss within the NFC East. It's third down and 9 for Barkowski and company. Wide receivers left and right. They work the screen to William Andrews. Got some running room. Got the first down. Tommy Myers, a 9-year veteran from Syracuse, in there on the tackle. Jeff Van Note, the man who set up the key block on that screen.
There we talked about the versatility of Andrews, going out a little screen. Second screen they've tried here in the first quarter. This time they executed perfectly and pick up enough for the first down.
Picked up 13 yards. First and 10 to go. Falcons on their own 36-yard line. 8:30 left to go in the first quarter. Saints struck early. They lead it 7-0.
Tony Dorsett's being x-rayed, Jim, for a rib injury.
Jenkins to the top of your screen. Francis to the near side. Running backs in an eye. This is Francis in motion back toward Barkowski. The give to Lynn Kane inside over right tackle up near the 40-yard line. Pickup of about 3. It'll bring up second down and 7. Joe Fetterspiel in there on the tackle, the 9-year veteran from Kentucky. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the New Orleans Saints and the National Football League is prohibited.
Cleveland leading Green Bay 10-0 in the first quarter, and Chicago is leading Detroit 7-0. That Cleveland game is now in the second quarter.
Second down and 7. Andrews and Kane are your running backs. Wide receivers left and right. Give to the second back through. Billy Andrews, the second-year man from Auburn, up near the 45. Groom, 78 from Tennessee Tech, in there on the tackle.
Now they're doing what they want to do. They want to keep the ball away from Archie Manning, and by running the football, if they can keep it in the hands of Bartkowski and Andrews, they're going to be a lot better off in this football game.
Manning showed us very early why Atlanta wants to keep the ball away from Archie and company.
You can't blame them.
4-yard pickup on the previous carry by Andrews, so it's third down and 3 now from the eye. Francis to the top of your screen. Andrews looks for first down yardage, and he's got it. Barry Bennett in there on the tackle along with Reggie Mathis.
Even though they picked up a first down, pretty good defense that time by the Saints. They moved laterally well, jammed the play up, made him cut back inside.
Pickup of 4 on the carry. That was Lynn Kane, excuse me, not Andrews. Lynn Kane with first down yardage. Another look.
Cutting back inside, just picking it up. You see the movement of that defense there. They got it. Tommy Myers has got them all fired up.
From the Saints, from the Falcons 47-yard line. Bartkowski to put it up on first down. Looks for Alfred Jenkins, but a flag. Dave Waymere, 45, the rookie from Notre Dame, was victimized, Sonny.
Made a rookie mistake. The ball was overthrown. Made a rookie mistake, and then he gets his hands on him. Wasn't taking any chances, but a very costly one for the Saints. Big play for the Falcons.
You know, you take a look at this series and the way these two teams have gone. Atlanta leads the series 15-7. And they have taken 5 of the last 6 games, Sonny. 4 of the last 6 games, as we mentioned at the top of the telecast, have been decided in the final 2 minutes, including the last 3 in a row here in the Superdome. And some of those games on plays like that one, controversial calls.
It's hard to say why one team plays well against the other, but these two teams like playing each other.
This is William Andrews on the inside handoff. Darylin Moore clogging up the middle, the man that brought him down.
They enjoy the game, and that's what's good about professional football. You find somebody you want to beat, you go out and you enjoy playing, and both teams play hard against each other.
Andrews came in averaging about 7.5 yards a carry. Before this game, he had carried the ball 23 times for 177 yards. His longest gain was 16 yards, but no touchdowns. Pickup of 1 at 2nd down and 9 as the New Orleans fans still responding to that pass interference call against Waymer, number 44. In motion is Wallace Francis. Bartkowski on 2nd and 9. Got the equalizer to Junior Miller, big tight end, the rookie from Nebraska, Ray Brown. West Texas State, the man who was beaten on the play. And the Falcons strike right back and are within a point of time.
He caught him in single coverage, and he just went to the big tight end. You know why they wanted him so badly, and what a dimension he's added to the offense. You're taking a look at it from behind Bartkowski. You'll see the one-man covering, just throwing it up high to Miller and coming down with it. When you got a 6'4", 235-pound target, you can put the ball up in the air a little bit. Good protection this time to throw the football. One man covering, picks up a touchdown.
Tim Mazzetti will attempt the extra point, try to get things tied. He does. Well, you had a mismatch. Junior Miller, 6'4", going up against Ray Brown, 6'2", and it resulted in a Falcons touchdown. We've got 5:30 left to go in quarter number 1. We're all tied up here at the Superdome. The Saints 7 and the Falcons 7. Saints 7 and the Falcons 7. We're all tied up watching Tim Mazzetti, the former bartender from Philadelphia, about set to boot it off. The deep man, Rich Maudie, number 84, the 4-year man from Penn State. And again, Sonny, they call him the Pete Rose of football. The Pete Rose of baseball has got his hands full in Kansas City this afternoon.
Boy, does he ever.
Here's Mazzetti's boot. 1 yard out, Rich Maudie. And a flag on the play. That usually indicates clipping on the run back, son.
Illegal block. They don't allow you to block below the knee on kick returns anymore. Or a clip. We have a Falcon player down on the field also.
Kenny Johnson, 37, the man who submarined and went underneath. And you see the indication by the referee, Jimmy Seaman.
He's getting up under his own foul, which is good. They have knocked the breath out of him a little bit. We'll try to find out exactly what happened.
You know, there were some Saints skeptics coming into this game, Sonny, that felt that the Atlanta Falcons were exactly where New Orleans wanted them. The reason that last year Atlanta played Detroit when the Lions were 0-3. Take a look, see what happens to Johnson here. He submarines and he just gets his head down, doesn't he? Really wasn't from contact. His head just got caught up in the AstroTurf.
Personal foul, clipping, number 48, receiving team.
That's Don Schwartz, the culprit. I was talking about the Saints having the Falcons where they want them. The reason that last year Atlanta played Detroit when the Lions were 0-3, Detroit won. Last year the Falcons played San Francisco. The 49ers were 0-7, San Francisco won. Last week Atlanta played the Jets, who were 0-5, and the Jets won. So to some of the Saints skeptics, New Orleans has Atlanta exactly where they want them.
Are you saying they can't win the little ones?
First and 10 to go from the 12-yard line of New Orleans. Archie Manning, the quarterback. Backs are in an I formation with running back or with wide receivers left and right. First man through, met head on there is Jack Holmes, the 3rd-year man from Texas Southern, and he was crunched, stacked up in the middle of that Atlanta defensive front.
Well, I noticed the secondary that time, Jim. They had double covered on the outside. They weren't taking any chances that Manning was going to put up a long one to Chandler again.
No gain on the play, brings up 2nd down and 10 as you look from behind the Atlanta defense. John Hill, the big center, number 62 for the New Orleans Saints, the 9-year man from Lehigh, brings his team out. Ike Harris, 82 wide to the left side. Wes Chandler, 89 wide to the right side in motion. That's Mike Strawn. Manning to air it out. Got Wes Chandler, and he's close to a first down, and boy, was he wrestled out of bounds. Roland Lawrence, 22, and Wes Chandler took exception to it.
Well, what a good play and a good pattern by Chandler. You can see why Glanville was concerned. He really comes back to pick the football up because he was covered a little deeper and he came back, was led back to pick it up. Take a look again. He comes back to meet good receiver to do this, and he comes back to do it. Can back about 5 yards, I think.
11 yards on the pickup for Archie Manning. First down for the New Orleans Saints. 4:36 left to go in quarter number 1. We are deadlocked at 7. Strong and Holmes are the running backs. They are split. Wide receivers left and right. Archie operates 1st and 10 from the New Orleans 22. Saints show a 5. And that's Holmes on the carry. Across the 20. Loose football. Atlanta says they've got it. Referee says no, the play was dead. Break for New Orleans. Jeff Murrow, 75, the man who forced the fumble. And Holmes, the man who coughed it up.
Oh, and there's a word man right there. He doesn't need any mistakes right now, Dick Nolan.
Lost a yard on the play, Sonny. It's 2nd down now and 11 for New Orleans from their own 20.5-yard line. Ike Harris to the top of the screen. Wes Chandler, he's got the touchdown pass of 18 yards from Archie Manning wide to the right side. Backs are Strawn and Holmes. They're split. Looking for Chandler. Roland Lawrence, 22, with him stride for stride. Good coverage for the Falcons.
Good coverage. Lawrence has been accused of playing a little deep at times. That's a lot of reasons why they play a little throw the ball in front of him. That time he had a long one and he covered it well. 10-0 Cleveland over Green Bay in the 2nd quarter. Cincinnati leading 7-0 in the 2nd over Minnesota. Or what about this one? 23-0. Washington leading St. Louis. That's a surprise.
Redskins coming back after the Monday night loss out in Denver.
Miami with a big lead over Buffalo. 14-0 in the 2nd quarter.
3rd down and 11 for Archie Manning, who is having a good afternoon so far. Ike Harris to the top side. Wes Chandler to the bottom of your screen. Holmes looks for 1st down yardage, will not get it as the Atlanta Falcon defense was swarming on play. Holmes coming out of the backfield.
That's the kind of pattern that when you throw that pattern and you don't make it, you say, why did you throw the ball short trying to run for it? If it works, it looks good. It doesn't look good when you got this long to go. What you see the rush by Palmawina. Throw the ball out. Holmes gets it behind, but Lawrence was up there. They're double covered on that side, and Lawrence has a short zone right into the strength of the defense.
You're looking at Russell Erxleben, who gets it away. A beautiful high kick. And that's number 16, Reggie Smith, on the catch. To the 40 and down. The smallest player in the NFL, number 16, Reggie Smith. The Falcons operate 1st and 10 from their own 39-yard line, but we come right back. 2:57 left to go in the quarter. The Saints 7 and the Atlanta Falcons 7. If their game plan will hold true, what they wanted to do was keep the ball away from Archie Manning, so we expect the Falcons maybe to try to grind it out on the ground a little bit.
I would think so, but it's just like what we anticipated a rivalry should be played, how it should be played.
From the 39 of the Falcons, Bartkowski puts it up on 1st down. Got his man, batted loose from Tommy Myers. Well, there's the man you talked to before the game, Sonny, and a man who plays with intensity all the time. The ball was intended for Alfred Jenkins, who was open, but Myers came over with a great hit and just knocked it loose. Well,
the guy that he admires the most is Larry Wilson, the great safety man from the Cardinals. That was his idol, and he plays it a lot like him. You see the contact right there. They call him a complete player, a coach out on the football field. Fred Glick really loves this man, and he's, what's he got, 33 career interceptions.
And not having a bad beginning in 1980, as you look at that stat right there. Wallace Francis wide to the left side. Alfred Jenkins at the top of your screen. Bartkowski gives the ball off to William Andrews. Got a blocker out in front of him. Tries to turn the corner, but cannot. Grooms, the 6-year man from Tennessee Tech, 6'4", 260, came over and closed it off very quickly, and the Falcons are faced with 3rd and long.
Grooms made an excellent play that time because the play was designed to go inside. He played the block off and then ran down Andrews.
Just a pickup of 2 yards on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 8, an obvious passing situation. Saints will go into the nickel defense now.
You saw right there, Bryant trying to block him out, and he just played the block off and made a good quick play.
Saints not at all playing like an 0-6 team so far, Sonny.
Well, one of those was kind of taken from them, too. Against the Miami game, you go back, they scored a touchdown. It didn't count.
Jenkins wide left, Francis wide right. Backs are split. Bartkowski needs 8. Got it and more. Junior Miller, the big tight end. It depends where they mark the ball. Waymer, the man who was victimized on that previous pass interference call, got to him quickly, and looks like they'll mark the ball shy of the first down yardage.
That kick coming up a little short of it. They're going to have to kick it away. You take a look again, coming across. Good play this time by Waymer. Good smart move, I think, by the Saints. Instead of letting Waymer have to play a deep position on the nickel defense, take somebody short, getting up into a short zone.
Looking now at Mr. James for the Atlanta Falcons, their punter, John James, number 6, 29 punts, averages almost 39 yards a boot. His longest has been 59, and 12 punts have ended up inside the 20-yard line. Sonny, a remarkable statistic. Of all of his punts, none have gone into the end zone.
See, that's right, 29 punts. He doesn't like kicking that thing, and he wants to keep them back in deep field position. His first kick of the game did go inside of the 20, and this one also, so he's now has 14 inside of the 20.
Rich Maudie with a fair catch. So Archie Manning and the New Orleans Saints break out. 1st and 10 from their own 16-yard line. We've got 1:15 left to go in the quarter, and we're deadlocked 7-all. Falcons came in one game behind the LA Rams in that NFC West. And, of course, you know the story of the New Orleans Saints, 0-6. Running backs for the New Orleans Saints, Mike Strawn, number 33, Jack Holmes, number 45. They are split. They operate from the slot. And now moving out of the slot is Ike Harris. Manning gives off to Mike Strawn. Good cutback up near the 17-yard line. Al Richardson, 56, in there in the tackle.
Boy, good defensive play that time. Moving laterally from that 34 defense. But when you're playing with 4 rookies as linebackers, you can't be too fancy, and they are not very fancy defensively. They just play hard-nosed football. See Curry looking to get the signal right now.
You expect that Archie Manning will test the secondary of the Falcons a little bit more, maybe work on those cornerbacks?
Because of the inability to run with the football, they haven't had any success running yet.
Wide receivers left and right there, Harris and Wes Chandler. Manning faced with 2nd down and 9 to put it up. And pass interference against the Falcons. Ike Harris, the man for whom the pass was intended. That's Rich Bias, number 38. Bob Glazebrook, 36, were back there in the vicinity. Let's see who they call it on, but it'll be a 1st down for New Orleans.
Yeah, they were in the nickel defense, and they're anticipating the pass. Yep. Take a look. Everybody going back in their drops. Manning had a little pressure that time, a little heat from the outside. Bias made contact on Harris before the ball arrived.
And you see Harris helping the official out right there.
Those receivers have a tendency to do that.
Your receivers ever do that?
Are you kidding?
You used to do that.
You got to. Everybody needs a little help.
From ground level in the Saints bend. 1st and 10 from the New Orleans 36. We are tied 7-all. This is Harris in motion to the near side. Manning with the inside fake over the middle of the man is Wes Chandler, and a 1st down for the Saints. Rick Bias, the man who was just victimized, 38 in there in the tackle, but Chandler, you just can't cover him, Sonny, one-on-one.
They knew it going in. They'd like to double cover him, but Manning did what he wants to do in the game. To run play-action passes. You see right now, faking the run, trying to hold linebackers to give you a cavity to throw in behind him, and he does it perfectly then. This is just good execution.
So that's the end of the 1st quarter. Each team is scored with an aerial touchdown strike. The New Orleans Saints 7 and the Atlanta Falcons 7. We'll be right back.
On CBS. Today's game is sponsored by Ford and your local Ford dealer, who invite you to test drive the new 1981 Ford cars and trucks. And by Natural Light Beer, brewed with only natural ingredients for a clean, refreshing taste.
Jim Kelly, Sonny Jurgensen, back with you from the Superdome here in New Orleans. The Saints 0-6. They have 7. The Atlanta Falcons 3-3. They have 7. You know, Sonny, these 2 teams don't like each other very more. This is a kind of an intersectional rivalry. Bragging rights to the South. Each city likes to call themselves the Queen City of the South, and there are about 12,000 Atlanta fans who have motored over for this game. A sellout crowd at the Superdome. 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line of the Atlanta Falcons. Archie Manning from the I formation. Wes Chandler again. Pickup of 9. It'll bring up 2nd down and 1. Chandler came in with 21 catches, 263 yards, averaging about 12 and a half yards every time he got the football. The previous reception was good for 21 yards. This one's good for 8, and Chandler has caught 2 for scoring strikes coming in. He has added 1 more this afternoon, so he has 3.
An exciting receiver. Just a little slant pattern this time. Throwing the ball on 1st down. Very good time to throw the ball. And you see they have to get a lot of white shirts around him in a hurry if they're going to cover him, because they're not going to be able to single cover that man.
Archie Manning with the hot hand so far this afternoon has been right on target. He sends Wes Chandler wide to the left side. Ike Harris wide to the right side. Inside handoff to the fullback Jack Holmes. He busts it up the middle, but not much doing.
I think it's amazing that they're moving the football, and they have yet to be able to run with it very successfully. Here he is, Tony Galbraith coming in.
And Jack Holmes will leave.
I think Holmes lost a shoe.
Of course, the New Orleans Saints without a former number 2 draft pick, Chuck Muncie, who has been shipped off to the San Diego Chargers.
I think they were interested in getting everybody on the same page, working toward the same effort and direction.
Quick out. Wes Chandler comes back, looks for 1st down yardage, but is caught at about the 30-yard line. Jeff Merrill, 75, the right defensive end for the Atlanta Falcons, the man in there on the tackle that caught up with Wes Chandler. Boy, for a defensive end to catch up with Chandler, that's quite a task.
Well, he came back inside because Lawrence came up very quickly and forced him back to the inside. But I like what the Saints are doing. They're getting the ball to their most skilled football play in Wes Chandler, and they managed him so far a 4-5 down.
13:04 left to go in the 1st half. We're deadlocked at 7. 2nd down and 9. Archie Manning. Backs are split. Receivers left and right. Just a little draw play. Mike Strawn shy of 1st down yardage. Richardson, 56, the left linebacker in there for the Atlanta Falcons.
Now you'd think that play would be a good football play for the Saints, because running a draw play when you're indicating you're going to pass, that they would be more successful with it. Take a look. You'd think that they're going to get a lot out of this play, but not much working. Al Richardson coming in from the outside. He's playing a little banged up. That knee's still bothering him, the one that everybody was concerned about coming into professional football.
And he's playing a good game so far. Chandler to the near side. Harris to the top of your screen. It's 3rd and 7 for Archie Manning, who's 6 out of 7, 116 yards and 1 touchdown. Needs 1st down yardage. Throws. He's got it. Harris on the reception. Roland Lawrence, the man who bumped him out of bounds. Now there is Archie Manning going for the deep man. He had number 34, Sonny, Tony Galbraith, who slid out of the backfield just looping. He was all alone down at about the 20-yard line. Manning went a little bit deeper. He found Ike Harris. 1st down, and the Saints on the Falcons 19.
He had both people cut, were double covered. He went to the weakness of the defense, went to the single cover, and picks up a 1st down. Good smart play this time, because they had double covered the tight end and Chandler, and he only had one man covering Harris, and he took the weakness.
1st and 10 from the Atlanta 19-yard line. Ike Harris comes back in motion to the near side. Chandler wide right. Manning to throw it on 1st down. Looks short, got his man. That's Tony Galbraith, a 5-year man from Missouri, down at the 15-yard line. Buddy Curry, the right side inside linebacker, on the tackle for the Falcons.
Galbraith, an excellent receiver coming out of the backfield. That's his 27th catch of the season, his 1st of the day. He was their leading receiver going in.
26 catches, averaged about 8.5 yards every time he touched the football.
10-7 now. New England leading Baltimore. 27-yard field goal by John Smith in Kansas City and Denver.
Wes Chandler to the near side. Manning now 2nd and 6. Touchdown, New Orleans. Tony Galbraith looping out of the backfield, and the Saints are back on top again. Tony Galbraith, the leading receiver for the New Orleans Saints. You can see the emotion on the sideline. Another look as Manning just slips out to the left side, comes back with a counter to the right side. Galbraith beat the man easily. The man he beat there was number 36 for the Atlanta Falcons, Bob Glazebrook. That's what you want to do, is get that back isolated one-on-one, and they worked it to perfection. Benny Ricardo in to try the extra point now. He's been perfect, Sonny.
Good, smart throw that time. Again, a little rollout away and coming back and throwing the ball to the back. It's a good receiver.
The Atlanta Saints came in about a 3-point underdog in this game to the Atlanta Falcons. The Saints struck first. The Saints have struck again. They are marching now to a 7-point lead over the Atlanta Falcons. 10:40 left in the first half when we come right back. Manning came in with about a 63% completion average, 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 2 scoring strikes so far this afternoon, 10 out of 11, 146 yards, and those 2 touchdowns. Can't do any better than that.
He's been outstanding, and he's getting good protection, and this is something that the Saints are got to be pleased with, but the Falcons, on the other hand, are going to have to decide what they're going to do, whether or not they're going to send some linebackers after him.
The kick of Benny Ricardo, fielded by Reggie Smith. Busts it up the middle, look out. To the 35, Tinker Owens, number 83, the man who brought him down, the 4-year man from Oklahoma, and Steve Bartkowski, the Atlanta Falcons, the team that we expected to do exactly what the Saints have been doing, Sonny, mix up the running and the passing pretty well, as you look as Reggie Smith again. Actually, the Saints have been following the Falcons' game plan perfectly.
They have. They're doing what they want to do. You see Smith coming back up. He was coming into this game with a 20.5 average on kickoff returns, and he didn't hurt himself there.
Okay, the book on Bartkowski, 5 out of 9, 38 yards and 1 touchdown, but simply Atlanta hasn't had the football that much. 14-7, New Orleans on top, 10.5 left to go in the quarter. Bartkowski to put it up on first down. Looks for Kane, looping out of the backfield, incomplete. Good coverage on the play by Ray Brown, the 10-year man from West Texas State.
They gave him a little different set that time. They put Kane outside, out of the backfield. Take it, trying to get a linebacker covering him. They didn't that time. Ray Brown, ex-Falcon player.
Second down 10 for Bartkowski and company. Play comes in from the bench, and head coach Lehman Bennett. Big game for the Falcons. They are 1 game behind the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams will take on the San Francisco 49ers later this afternoon in San Francisco.
There he is, a man right on the right of Lehman Bennett. Jimmy Ray with a folder there, putting the folder down. He's the guy that sends in the plays.
Wallace Francis in motion. Pitch back to William Andrews. Nothing doing. Saints close it off quickly.
Well, when you get that incompletion on first down, when you run second down, it makes it a little tougher. Now you've set up a third and fairly long situation.
Fettersfield and Mathis in there in the tackle, 58 and 56 respectively. Brings up third down and 5 for Steve Bartkowski and company, and again the Saints will go to the nickel defense.
Boy, Andrews quick coming out of the stance, reading his blocks, cutting back in. He says he hasn't surprised anybody. He hasn't surprised himself, his ability to run and catch a football since he came in as a running back. He likes it. He's having fun.
Junior Miller to the top of the screen. Alfred Jenkins to the near side. In the slot, Wallace Francis, 89. Bartkowski needs 5. Will go up top for it. And he's just a little bit shy, but fighting close to the first down yardage is William Andrews, 31. And this one will depend on where Jimmy Seaman, the referee, marks the ball. Groom, 78, a 6-year man from Texas Tech, in there on the tackle, along with Donnie Schwartz, 48, from Washington State.
Boy, give a lot of credit on that play. Watch Bartkowski. He gets an excellent rush that time by Grooms. Right there, he fights him off. Throws the ball to Andrews, fighting for the extra yards, trying to get enough for the first down. Boy, it's close. This is all in the marking of the football. See where they put the little pumpkin down? What do you think?
I think he's got it.
Do you think he's got it? Ooh, it's close.
Big first down for the Falcons. They needed 5, and they got about 5 and 4 inches.
You take a look coming out again, out of his stance, getting down. We just showed you the play before, his running ability. This time, good concentration. He knows that man's behind him, but now fighting for the yards, just getting spun over there. If he hadn't spun, I don't think he'd have made the first down.
Falcons 3 out of 5 on third down conversion. Saints 2 out of 3. That a big one for Atlanta. First and 10 from their own 45-yard line. Bartkowski splits his running backs. Will throw on first down. Looks sideline left, and he's got Wallace Francis out of bounds at about the 42 of New Orleans. Ray Brown, the man on the coverage.
Boy, the only quarterbacks that can do that are people like Steve Bartkowski, having the big rifle arm that he has, because the ball had to travel a long way for a sideline pattern. He had to throw it all the way across field, and he got it in a hurry.
Threw the ball on the rope. Sonny, a big first half for the New Orleans Saints, because you look at the fact that over their first 6 games, they've been outscored 24-3 in the first quarter by their opponents, and they've been outscored 47-38 in the second quarter. As you look at some out-of-town scores.
14-3, Denver leading Kansas City now. Miami leading Buffalo 14-7. And the Jets are leading Seattle 14-3.
Atlanta first and 10 from the 41. Willem Andrews inside the 35 of the New Orleans Saints. The second-year man from Auburn, and Clarence Chapman from Eastern Michigan, the man who came up and submarined him down. Andrews, the workhorse. Take a look at the pitch back now.
Unusual. Fullback getting outside on the run. You expect your halfback to get outside. Chapman coming up, cutting his legs out from under him, but a good first down play.
Picked up 8 yards on the carry. Again, William Andrews, 23 carries, 177 yards coming in, averaging just about 8 yards a carry. His longest run from scrimmage prior to this game, 16 yards. Jenkins to the wide side. Wide right. Handoff to Lynn Kane. Busts it across the 30-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. Ray Brown, 27, in there in the tackle.
Boy, the linemen up front, Jim, really doing a good job. Ken, Scott, Van Oat, Thielman, and Bryant just straight ahead blocking. And they're controlling the line of scrimmage right now in this drive.
You see that stat on Lynn Kane, ranking 5th in the league in rushing. The Atlanta Falcons were 7th in rushing, averaging about 136 yards coming in. They were 7th in total offense, 10th in passing. First down, 10 yards to go Atlanta. The ball resting on the Saints' 29-yard line. Slot to the left side. Backs are split for Bartkowski. Again will throw on first down. In trouble, and down he goes. Barry Bennett, 63, the man who got him, but it was number 53 for the New Orleans Saints. Tommy Hart, the man that got to him first and put some pressure on him. The 13-year man from Morris Brown. Another look. Look at the left side.
Also credit the secondary for good coverage that time. He could, even when he escaped and Bennett was taking him, he had somebody he had no one to go to, and that's why he had to eat the football. -9 yards on the play.
What do you think Archie Manning is thinking about as he's sitting over there on the New Orleans bench? We showed you at the top of the telecast part of the reason that the New Orleans Saints are 0-6 coming in. The fact that Archie Manning has spent an awful lot of his time, as Steve Bartkowski just did. Second down, 19 yards to go. Alfred Jackson in the slot to the right side. Outside is Jenkins. Bartkowski needs to air it out. It's batted down. Grooms. Big number, 78. I'll tell you what, Sonny, he's 6'4", 260, and Bartkowski is not small at 6'4". And Grooms just got his arms up and slapped it down.
They were going to the screen pass again that they'd been successful with earlier. That time Grooms got in his line of vision and knocked it down. Good play. There he is. Well, what a horse. When they want to play, they can play. They can rush your passer. The run has hurt them a little bit, though. Defensively, they're 14th against the rush. People have been rushing for about 197 yards against them.
And this the kind of a situation those defensive ends love, Sonny. They can tee off right now. It's third down, 19 yards to go. Falcons, Steve Bartkowski checks the defense now. Back in the pocket, rushes on. Batted down again by Darylyn Moore, number 74. And Sonny, I'll tell you what, if Darylyn Moore had not run into Don Reese, number 60, I think Reese had an excellent chance to intercept that ball and go all the way.
Looks like he can get and listen to this crowd. Goes back, you see Moore going to the outside and jumping up and getting a hand on it.
Right there.
He got knocked up. Don Reese was trying to go after the interception and couldn't quite make it, but they forced Atlanta to punt.
John James, number 6, punter extraordinaire for the Atlanta Falcons. So far, 2 punts, averaging 42 yards this afternoon. Back to kick it away. Remember, he has not kicked one into the end zone. Pretty good punt placement. High snap. And an even higher kick. Well, no sooner, we said last night in our production meeting, right, that would happen. As soon as we pointed out he hadn't kicked one in all year long, he'd sure enough do it. We've got 6:37 left to go in the first half. The New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons locked up in a big NFC Western shootout here in the Superdome. The Saints have a 7-point lead, 14-7. 37 left to go in the first half. The Saints on top by 7, 14-7. You take a look at the ball control and where New Orleans has started out. They have started out on their own 18, their own 12, their own 17, and now on their own 20-yard line from the I formation. Galbraith and Strawn are the running backs. Wide receivers left and right. Mike Harris along with Wes Chandler, and the give to the up back. Mike Strawn, number 33 from Iowa State. Jeff Merrow, 75, and they're on the tackle for the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta now would like to force a turnover, Sonny, get that ball back and set up their offense in good field position. Conversely, of course, the Saints would like to use up a little bit of time on the clock, move it out, and get a scoring drive of their own going.
It's hard for them to use up time without throwing the football. They throw long passes.
And Manning, again, the big afternoon. 2 touchdowns. Pickup of 2 yards. Pickup of no yards, excuse me. 2nd down and 10 for the Saints. Just what Sonny said, Manning goes to the air. He's got Galbraith out of the backfield, close to the 30-yard line, but not close enough for the first down.
That's exactly what they want to do. They control the ball with the inability to run the thing. They throw it to the backs, especially to him, Galbraith. Falcon linebackers going deep, trying to take away. They're trying to help on Chandler coming across the middle. You see Curry, Jim Laughlin making the play there.
The Saints' offensive line, Sonny, has been doing a good job so far in this first half, holding off the Falcons. Pickup of 8 yards. 3rd down and 2. Manning from the I. Harris to the near side. He's now in motion. Chandler wide to the right side. Gives the ball off to Strawn, number 33. First down and more, New Orleans.
Pick up a first down running the football. That's got to be exciting for their offensive line. Pick up 9 yards on the play. That's what they need. Now that'll give a lift to the offensive line. They blocked this well. Coming off the kind of a deep play, misdirection. They looked like they were going to the right side. He cuts back to the left, gets some good blocking, and picks up enough for the first down. Good piece of running by Strawn.
Good lead block there by Tony Galbraith. On the left side of that Saints offensive line, Emmanuel Zanders, 79 at left guard. James Taylor, 71, a third-year man from Missouri, the left tackle. Chandler to the near side. Ike Harris comes back in motion toward us. And Manning to put it up on 1st and 10 from his own 37. He's got Wes Chandler again. Down to the Atlanta 30-yard line. Joel Williams, 58, the man who finally brought him down, and Chandler is hurt.
Not only is Chandler hurt, he's down. Archie Manning really took a hit after he threw the football, and he got up very slowly also. But what a great throw by Archie Manning to Chandler this time. Take a look, the play-action pass. Fake the ball to Strawn, go back, and he has to throw it in a hurry. And you see the hit, high and low. And you see he had to throw that football before the pattern developed, and you see the hit that he takes right there. Joel Williams making the hit.
4:10 left to go in this first half. When we come right back, the Atlanta Falcons on defense, they trail the New Orleans Saints by a score of 14-7, and right now the Saints are going marching in. Tinker Owens, number 83, the 4-year man from Oklahoma, has replaced Wes Chandler. That is not he.
I was hoping it wasn't.
There is Chandler on the sideline. And there is the afternoon, and quite an afternoon for that young man. Rich Maudie, number 84. Tinker Owens, number 83 in the slot. Maudie in motion now. They give it to Maudie. And what a defensive play by number 22 for the Atlanta Falcons, coming up from the left side. Roland Lawrence to cut him down.
Well, that was a good defensive play. They ran in reverse. They like to give the ball to Maudie. He likes to, as he said, we talked with him before the game, and he said he liked to touch a football. The fake into Galbraith, the end around. But defense had to be looking for this one. Boom, a lot of people out there.
And you saw the good play by number 22, Roland Lawrence. Sonny, an 8-year man from Tabor. 2nd down and 8 for the New Orleans Saints. Manning at the control. 12 of 13, 187 yards in the first half. And he wants more. And he's got more. That's his big tight end, Brooks Williams, who had a big 35-yard reception earlier. Joel Williams, 58, in there on the tackle.
I think he could safely say that Mr. Manning is giving an exhibition here of using his receivers, using the football field. Going back to what you might hear. sets up, throws the ball. This is a delay coming back underneath the linebackers. Williams couldn't get a opportunity to turn the ball back upfield, so he comes up a little short of the first down.
You know what Archie has done so well here in the first half? He's used all of the receivers, throwing to Chandler and to Harris and to Brooks Williams twice, and to Jack Holmes and Strawn, and to Tony Galbraith coming out of the backfield. He's used everybody. This is Brooks Williams in motion. Manning gives to Strawn, and oh, what a defensive play for the Atlanta Falcons. Jeff Merrow, 75. He just came busting through there from his right end spot and cut down Strawn before he could even get back to the line of scrimmage. Great play.
The only success that the Falcon defense has really had so far is when the Saints have elected to run with the football.
So we're at the 2-minute warning of the first half. When we come right back, the Saints have the football and they have a 7-point lead. They lead the Falcons 14-7. 2 minutes left in the first half. The Saints, with a record of 0-6, have a 7-point lead over the Atlanta Falcons. 3 up and 3 down, and the Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles having a shootout in Philadelphia.
Understand that Wilbert Montgomery is out of the game, hyperextended a knee, and will not return.
Wilbert also has a hip pointer, which has bothered him all week long in practice. You're looking now at number 1, Benny Ricardo, 7 out of 7 in field goal attempts, his longest from 47. They'll spot this one in the vicinity of the 33. This will be a 43-yard try for Benny Ricardo to try and put the Saints up by 10. Snap is good, spot is good, kick is no good. It hits the crossbar on the right side, and the Falcons get a break, Sonny.
Yes, they do. He's 29 straight inside of the 40-yard line. That was just outside of the 40. And take a look. Right at the goalpost. That's when things are going against you.
Saints up by 7 when we come right back. Jim Kelly, Sonny Jurgensen back with you from the Superdome here in New Orleans. The Atlanta Falcons trailing by 7. They've got 1:55 left to go in the first half with which to work, and Bartkowski brings his team out. Lone running back, William Andrews, slot to the left side. That's Lynn Kane, the one running back. Bart over the middle, he's got his big man. That's number 89, Wallace Francis, shy of first down yardage.
Have to go into the hurry-up offense now. In the last 2 minutes, they go without a huddle here.
Fetterspiel, 58, in there on the tackle. Middle linebacker for the New Orleans Saints. Atlanta offensively has been held to just that one touchdown. Bartkowski in the first quarter. Goes up top, in and out of the hands of Alfred Jenkins, number 84, the 6-year man from Morris Brown. Dave Weimer, the rookie from Notre Dame that time, Sonny, with good coverage. Good coverage. He had him open. It had enough for the first down, about the 47-yard line. They needed that play. You have to execute properly during this 2-minute drill. You can't afford to drop balls. You can't afford to make a bad throw, or it halts the drive. Now you need the first down. Third down, 2 yards to go. Otherwise, you've got to kick it away. They line up in a slot to the right side. Francis in the slot. Jenkins outside. And Junior Miller, the big tight end, wide to the left side. This is the inside handoff to William Andrews. A first down and more. Gets it across the 45-yard line, but they're going to say that the whistle had blown. Ray Brown, Tommy Myers back there to force that fumble. And you might expect this reaction when there's only 12,000 Atlanta fans here in the Superdome. It's kind of like an echo chamber. Good call again, the draw play. Looks good when it works, and it works very well here. Picks it up, enough for the first down. See if he gets down before he loses. It looks like he was down on the ground before the ball popped out. It was a right call by the official. Falcons utilize one of their timeouts. Yeah, when you run that running play and you get people all spread out, you can't get them back to the line of scrimmage in time. When you throw the pass play, they can all move forward and go right down. And you're still looking at Steve over at the bench with Mike Morosky getting a little information there from Jimmy Ray. Bill Walsh looking in. Lehman Bennett. A nervous Lehman Bennett. Well, he's got to be. The other side, he's a little nervous too. Dick Nolan. There's a team, the New Orleans Saints, Sonny, that have 5 Pro Bowlers on it that beat the Los Angeles Rams last year, and the Rams, of course, got into the Super Bowl. Were picked by many to challenge the Rams in the NFC West. Gets off to an 0-6 start. They needed a little more depth to be contenders because they could not afford to lose any of their first 22 players. Dick Nolan told me, he said, we can compete as long as we can keep everybody on the field. When we lose 2 or 3 of our first 22, we have a little problem.
couple other scores, Jim. Cleveland leading Green Bay 13-7. Baltimore leading New England now 14-10. That's in the second quarter.
Saints go to the nickel defense. Bartkowski operates 1st and 10 from his own 47-yard line. Steve has one touchdown pass and needs another to go out even at halftime. Kane, the lone setback. Everybody else flooding out. Bartkowski on a rope, got Jenkins, and got the first down. Alfred Jenkins, the 6-year man, 5'10", 172 from Morris Brown, beat Clarence Chapman, turned him inside. Big first down for the Falcons. 1:05 left in the clock.
They had excellent coverage here. Just the strength of Bartkowski's arm is the reason this ball is completed. He throws it on a line. Look how far the ball has to go for the completion. That ball had to be thrown a long way. Take a look at it again. You cannot lay this ball up and expect it to get there because the defender has a chance to recover. And he didn't give Chapman a chance to move back and make a play on the football.
Jenkins wide to the right side. Pitch back is Lynn Kane behind the blocking of William Andrews. Bucks across the 30-yard line. And the clock continues to run. Falcons will now stop it with 59 seconds left to go. Jenkins with that last grab near the sideline has caught a pass now in 64 consecutive games. Of course, the record held by Philadelphia's Harold Carmichael. The big guy has caught a pass in 119 consecutive games. He has caught a pass in today's game against Dallas to keep that streak alive.
Down inside of a minute to play here. Falcons with one timeout left. They go to the sidelines, confer again, decide what they want to do in the situation with 2nd and short coming up. They're close, very close right now to Mazzetti's range. They need another first down here just so that to assure Mazzetti of a field goal attempt. But they have a lot of time, enough to get a touchdown here and tie this football game up.
No question about it. 59 ticks left on the clock. Bartkowski is right there. He has conferred with Lehman, Bennett and company, and now he'll confer again. Actually, a pretty fast first half here in the Superdome. Saints have gone marching up and down the field, and they have scored twice.
The way it looks too, Jim, is last year, what was it? It was 34-all when they go into overtime, and the Falcons end up winning that one 40-34. So it's capable of doing that, and the fact that the Saints got off to the fast start today, I think we're going to have an excellent second half too.
Atlanta's Wallace Francis telling us before the game that Atlanta's fans really want this game. Part of their season. It kind of makes it. Doesn't matter what the team's records are when they come in, what they've done the week before, or who they play next week. These two teams just don't like each other very much. Bartkowski, slot to the right side. Lynn Kane, the lone running back. Nickel defense for the Saints on 2nd and 4. Bartkowski got the first down to Alfred Jenkins again. The veteran from Morris Brown, run out of bounds by Clarence Chapman.
I don't understand the play, really. I understand as far as the Falcons are concerned, but Chapman had coverage deep. He was a short man on the zone. He had somebody behind him helping him, and he tried to play it as single cover.
6-yard pickup on the carry as you look at it from ground level now. And it's first down number 11 for the Atlanta Falcons, who are still on the short end of a 14-7 count.
You see the pattern. He just beats, looks like they're in single coverage there on Chapman.
Looks like they're working on Chapman one-on-one. This time it is Alfred Jackson, 85, wide to the right side against Clarence Chapman. They line up in a slot. Jenkins in the slot for the left side. Bartkowski splits his running backs. Quick out. He's got his man Wallace Francis inside the 10. Touchdown, Atlanta. 25 yards, and the Falcons are back in this football game.
They caught him a blitz, too. They caught him coming in a blitz. He hit him in a hurry, and Wallace Francis sprints to the end zone. You see the linebackers and the safety man, Don Swartz, number 48, coming there, and nobody covering Francis. They took a gamble defensively, and they got burned by it.
He just runs the tightrope and gets it on in. They're within one of tying. They go 74 yards in 7 plays, and they do it Sunday in a very impressive minute and 8 seconds. And we're watching Tim Mazzetti about to attempt the conversion out of the hold of John James, the punter. Snap, spot, kick, no good. And that is a big missed extra point. Mazzetti coming in was 16 of 16 in the point after department. And with 47 seconds left, that could turn out to be a very important extra point. Take another look.
Take a look. He had plenty of time. He got it up. He just hooked it.
If we can see that again when we come back, watch the snap was a little bit low. He just did get it down, so it was the snap that was low that forced the kick to be no good and hit that left crossbar. So we have seen Benny Ricardo miss a field goal for the New Orleans Saints. But more importantly, we have just seen Tim Mazzetti miss out of the bad snap an extra point try. Here's another. Here it is, Sonny.
I think it's low, but I do think he gets the ball up in plenty of time. The ball is set. He has plenty of time to kick the football there, and he just hooks it against the goal post. And we've seen both field goal kickers hit goal posts in this game.
As a fella who on occasion used to have to hold on extra points and field goal tries, it does, however, throw the rhythm of the kicker off just a step, a beat or two, when you see that ball not coming in there perfectly, and he delayed a little bit.
That may have happened to Mazzetti. I held for 18 years, and I used to tell, don't worry about the ball being up. I'll put the ball up. Your job is to concentrate on kicking the thing. But kickers do have a tendency to hesitate, takes them out of rhythm a little bit, and it could have affected Mazzetti then.
Wallace Francis now 4 receptions, 49 yards, and 1 touchdown. All set to kick off. Tim Mazzetti, Rich Motti, 84, standing in his own end zone, and the Saints will have about 45 seconds to work when they get the ball back. At his goal line, this is Motti. Looks for the wall, there is none. And down he goes at the 15 of New Orleans. Well, we'll see how Dick Nolan and Archie Manning elect to take things now. James Mayberry, the man who got down to cover that kickoff, 16-yard return. 41 seconds left, Sonny, and Manning with the hot hand. You've got your timeouts left. I would expect him to put it up the way Archie's been on the string.
They're going to be careful with the football. They don't want to make any mistakes back here and give the Saints an opportunity to take the lead going in at halftime. They're leading the football game. They have their timeouts. Here it is. Take a look. This is the coverage. Ray Strong coming down on the coverage, getting himself set, avoiding the block of Jim Peterzak. Comes in, making the tackle on. Boy, look at the white shirt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 white shirts there.
Headhunters on the specialty team. 1st and 10 to go. New Orleans, a 1-point lead. They give it off to Strawn around the left side. No side to go around. 75, Jeff Merrill, and he is having some kind of a game defensively for those Atlanta Falcons. You can hear the Saints fans. They're not happy with the play selection at all. But when you're 0-6, I guess you don't want to take chances, Sonny, risk any kind of an interception, something that might turn the momentum the other way.
Exactly. They want to let the clock run out if they can. I know the fans here don't like it, but this is smart football, and I think Dick Nolan's doing the right thing. You look at the balls inside of their own 10-yard line.
Loss of 6 on the play, and I'll bet you one of those cigars you're puffing that the Saints have run their last play of the first half.
I wouldn't take that bet.
Fans not happy about it, but the Saints, who are 0-6, do have a 1-point lead. 2 Archie Manning scoring strikes, 2 Steve Bartkowski scoring strikes. The difference in the football game so far, the missed extra point by Atlanta's Tim Mazzetti. So that's the end of the first half. The New Orleans Saints, who are winless, a 1-point lead over the Atlanta Falcons. A point lead, 14-13 over the 3-3 Atlanta Falcons. Hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Kelly alongside Sonny Jurgensen. Surprised at the score so far at halftime?
Surprised somewhat, yes. Impressed with the fact that the Saints are playing with the enthusiasm and the emotion that they are.
Well, let's take a look at some of the first half highlights that we've got for you. Starting off here, Archie Manning, number 8, the 10-year veteran signal caller from Mississippi on the rollout. Sonny, pick it up here as you take a look.
He's throwing back across the field. A rollout, he rolled one way through back to Brooks Williams, his big tight end. Excellent play, sets up a touchdown, and they go right in after this and get a touchdown.
Here from ground level, this will be the first touchdown. Archie Manning here to Wes Chandler. Watch number 89 as they go 82 yards in 4 plays. The last 2 plays covered 75 of those 82 yards. There's the scoring strike right there. The conversion made it 7-0. Back comes Steve Bartkowski. Signal caller for the Atlanta Falcons. Here he goes to Alfred Jenkins. Incomplete, however. You see the pass interference call right there. And that sets up an 11-yard scoring strike to his big tight end, Junior Miller. Take a look at this.
Yes, he does. He finds him in one-on-one coverage, and he just hits him coming across the middle and makes it kind of look easy that time. Both quarterbacks have thrown the ball well in the first half.
Mazzetti's conversion made it tied 7-7. Now Archie Manning right there finds Tony Galbraith looping out of the backfield. Saints go 83 yards in 9 plays. Ricardo's conversion makes it 14-7, Saints on top. Back comes Bartkowski. Wallace Francis all alone. They lined up in a slot formation to the left side, and Francis rambles for the score. They go 74 yards in 7 plays, and the point after hits the crossbar right there after a bad snap, 14-13, and that's where we are at halftime right now. So when we come back, we'll have all the second half action for you. The Saints trying for that first win. The Falcons trying to stay one game behind the Los Angeles Rams. 14-13, New Orleans.
Finished as a public service by the National Football League. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the new 1981 Oldsmobile Delta 88, the family car that didn't forget the family. Hager slacks and separates that make you feel as good as you look. And by Federal Express, when you have a package that absolutely, positively has to be there overnight, Federal Express.
As you said it would be.
Just as we talked about the Saints, look at that, only 13 yards rushing. Somewhat surprised too. The Saint defense doing a good job. The rushing for the Falcons only 63 yards.
And neither team with a turnover. 14-13 New Orleans. Atlanta kicks off to start the second half. Rich Maudie at the 5. Behind the wall, up to the 23. And the Saints, who have a 1-point lead, break on top their first possession of the second half.
Very important possession for them, for both teams really. The Saints like to move the ball down the field, control it some, and get another score. Obviously, the Falcons want to stop them right here, turn the ball over to their offense, and control the football and take the lead in the football game.
The Saints with 90 more yards passing than the Atlanta Falcons. However, the Falcons have 50 more yards rushing. Right now, New Orleans has a 1-point lead and the football. Jimmy Rogers, 41, in there at a running back spot along with number 45, Jack Holmes. As you saw the book on Archie Manning, who will put it up on first down again. The pump fake and the screen pass. Comes back to Holmes, got a wall of blockers, got the first down and more. Jack Holmes, the third-year man from Texas Southern, first down Saints up around the 37-yard line.
The thing that made that play go so well, Dave LaFari made a block, excellent block on Don Smith that time. The little screen pass, see if we can pick it up. Going back, you see Smith coming back outside now, 65. Watch Smith chasing the thing down. Frees him outside. Holmes goes up the outside, picks up a first down.
Not the way the coaches like to see him carry the football.
And not the way you'd like to start defensively with a big play, but Archie Manning now 14 out of 15.
14 yards and a first down. The ball on the 37-yard line of the New Orleans Saints in motion. Slot to the left side. Pitch back goes to number 41. That's Jimmy Rogers. Rogers with a good pickup. Knives his way across the 40 up to the 43-yard line.
Rogers almost lost the handle on the football also. Good blocking. You can see an offensive line getting fired up a little bit now. Taking the blocks to him a little bit. Pretty good block by Holmes that time. Cuts back in. Watch the ball pop loose here. Oops. Oops.
And one more look.
One more look at the blocking here. Good block by LaFari, taking him outside. Curry misses. Finally, Rick Bias comes over and makes a tackle.
Pickup of 6. It'll bring up second down and 4. The ball at the 44-yard line of the Saints. Manning has New Orleans on the move. He's got him 1 point in front, 14-13. Opening drive of the third quarter. Look out on the blitz. That's Joel Williams, number 58, a second-year man from Wisconsin at La Crosse. And down in the grasp of Mr. Williams goes Archie Manning, and that, if you saw the beginning of our telecast, a very familiar sight. And one of the reasons, up until this game, that the New Orleans Saints have a record of 0-6.
Well, they second and short. They anticipated the play-action pass, and you see they disregarded the run. And they got a little greedy offensively that time, and Williams comes through from the top of your screen. You see the fake there. Archie going out, no time. Joel Williams right in his lap and makes the play.
The blitz, something, Sonny, that Atlanta used to do a lot more frequently than they do now. Loss of 12. It's third down. 16 yards to go. Manning in trouble again. Screen pass. Jack Holmes, and he'll be way shy of the yardage. Falcons come out and play defense on this drive. Joel Williams, 58, the first man to him, and he really popped Jack Holmes. You look at Jack on the sideline there. The ball almost came loose.
You go back to that second and very short, Jim. Instead of taking a first down there, they had 2 downs to run for the first down. They got a little greedy, and it cost them this possession.
There's Russell Erxleben. You see he's kicked the ball once so far this afternoon for 40 yards. Reggie Smith, number 16, 5'4", the smallest player in the NFL, will field this punt, and he's got a little running room. Just shy of midfield, brought down, as they say, by a host of New Orleans Saints. First down, 10 yards to go for the Atlanta Falcons, Sonny. When we come right back, 12:42 left to go in the third quarter. Falcons on the short end, 14-13, but they'll operate from pretty good field position. 35-yard punt, 1st and 10 Atlanta on their own 48. Some of the 12,000 Atlanta Falcon faithful that have made the trip from that great city in the South, dressed out in a sea of bright red, staying at the hotel. In fact, there wasn't a hotel room to be had in this city. First down, 10 yards to go. Falcons from their own 48. Bartkowski from the eye. Wide receivers left and right to put it up on first down. Incomplete. Deflected at the line of scrimmage. The man who deflected it, Darylin Moore, number 74, intended for Alvin Jenkins, number 84. You know, Sonny, in football, there are 3 teams that have the nicknames Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons, the Air Force Falcons, and the Bowling Green Falcons. All right. 2 of the 3 teams played in this building this weekend.
And they were both in the same hotel, huh?
That's right. 2nd and 10 from the Atlanta 48-yard line. Bartkowski splits his running backs, gives it to William Andrews, pulled down from behind by Darylin Moore, number 74, the 8-year man from Oklahoma, 6'4", 254, and still growing.
Boy, they're playing well right now, too. Falcons taking over this ball in good field position. You see they're making the change defensively now. Look at Green Bay. Another touchdown pass by Len Dickey, a 26-yarder to James Lofton. They lead 21-13 now.
Bart Starr turned things around after a disastrous beginning. He's got that club believing in themselves once again. Bartkowski needs 8. 3rd down. Wide receivers are left and right. They operate from the slot to the left side. Split the running backs, everybody. Flood it out. Bartkowski goes up top, wants all of it. He's got Alfred Jenkins, and he's got a touchdown. Steve Bartkowski, a 52-yard touchdown pass. James Marshall, the first-year man from Jackson State, the man it was beating, and those 12,000 Atlanta faithful that motored in from Atlanta, very happy now. Their team on top for the first time in the football game.
Alfred Jenkins outruns the football this time. He outruns the thing. What an unbelievable play. James Marshall is beaten. Take a look at it. He runs right by James Marshall and goes after the football. 51 yards and a touchdown in just 3 plays.
And now the man who had some problems before, Tim Mazzetti, this time puts it through the uprights, and the Falcons have gone on top for the first time in this football game. Atlanta scoring twice quickly, once just before the half, once just opening up the third quarter. They lead by 6 when we come right back. Atlanta 20 and the New Orleans Saints looking for their first win, 14.
When some people say,
For instance, New Orleans had the ball for over 16 minutes in the first half. Atlanta just 13, but Atlanta has scored twice and very quickly.
Yes, they did. They scored, as you know, in the 2-minute drive right at the end of the half with 47 seconds left on the clock. They scored a touchdown. They come back right here, take 49 seconds, and they score again. So Atlanta's hot offensively right now.
Their scoring drive just before the end of the first half used 1:08, doesn't use 49 seconds, and Atlanta has a 6-point lead. Mazzetti kicking off. Rich Marty at his own 5, looks for the wall of blockers, looks for daylight, got it. But hold on to everything, Sonny, this one's coming back.
This one is coming back. We're going to have a clip or an illegal block. And boy, this is a costly one too, because he had it outside of the 40-yard line, and they're going to be back around their 10 or 15-yard line now.
Well, now's the opportunity the New Orleans Saints will have to show their poise, to show their character. It's something we talked about a little bit earlier, that we felt Atlanta, if they got off to an early lead, New Orleans would have their backs up against it. We'll pick up the referee, Jim Seaman, and his call and find out who the culprit was on that penalty. Take a look at the clip right here.
See if we can find the clip. But this is a close one. That was a 36-yard return by Marty, and they're back on the 14-yard line.
Personal foul, clipping, number 54, receiving team.
That's referee Jerry Seaman, and the clipping call. But to pick up on the theme we were talking about now, New Orleans 0-6. Now they find themselves behind for the first time in the football game. Atlanta has scored twice very quickly, and this is where a team that's 0-6, Shoney, has to show their character and their poise. From their own 15-yard line, Manning with a hot hand comes right back. Sideline right, pickup of about 6 on the play. Kenny Johnson, 37 in the vicinity. Wes Chandler back in the ball game, and that's good news if you're a Saints fan.
I was just going to say that that's the thing, that a lot of pressure on the man we're looking at right there. No running game, going to have to put the ball up a lot. He's got the hot hand. He feels now, when you get into a rhythm of throwing the football, as Archie Manning is, you feel like a pitcher. They can't get you out, a batter sometimes where they can't get you out. And that's the way Archie Manning feels now.
No running game, a total of just 13 yards rushing for the New Orleans Saints in the first half. Second down. Call it 5 to go. Handoff. Jimmy Rogers sweeping the left side. Cut down. Across the 23. And not much more. Joel Williams up and under, number 58.
We talked earlier, Jim, about winning teams expect things to happen where they're going to come out and win the football game. Losing teams have a tendency to feel that a play is going to go against them and it's going to put them in a hole. They're going to get a holding call. They're going to stop themselves, have a turnover, and they end up losing, and that's why they do lose.
Well, it's now a long yardage situation for the New Orleans Saints. Chandler wide to the left side. Ike Harris wide to the right side. It's first down, 10 yards to go. The ball on the 26. Straight drop by Archie. Blitz is on, and there's the interception, but it's coming back. This might be interference against the Atlanta Falcons. Penalty flag was thrown right away. You can see the Saints are complaining over there, Sonny.
Yeah, they're going to have a pass interference call. And boys, this is a close one. They had an opportunity to put the game away right here if they'd got another quick score.
Jerry Seaman, the referee, number 17, will straighten it out. But from the New Orleans reaction, the fans, this one will go, as we called it, against the Atlanta Falcons. Manning, up until that almost interception, had completed 13 passes in a row. Now the referees will huddle. Lindsey Nelson would call this a conclave.
A conclave is right, because they're going to get together and see if it took place after the interception, before the interception. Look at them, they're doing a lot of...
Archie, based on Archie's reaction, they're going to say it happened after the interception, after the change of possession.
Let's get a clarification right here. This is the man that can give it to us.
Interference on the play. The receiver could not have caught the ball. Consequently, it is intercepted. First down.
Well, a sellout here in the Superdome is 71,330. 12,000 Atlanta fans. You listen to the din of the Saints fans. Take a look, isolated camera on Wes Chandler.
They're saying it was pass interference, but he could not have caught the football. The ball was thrown. There was a contact right there. It was the first contact that they called. The ball went over his head. It was intercepted, and it will be Atlanta's ball. You see the flag come in. Take a look at it again. Going back to throw, he was under pressure. The contact made, the flags come in, and there's a lot of screaming right now.
First and 10 Atlanta on the 28-yard line of New Orleans. Bartkowski to put it up on first down and try and quiet the crowd. And William Andrews wanted absolutely nothing to do with the football, and it's going to be a personal foul against Reggie Mathis for a late hit on William Andrews. There was no question, Sonny, that Andrews heard footsteps. He didn't want to catch that football.
Ball was out in front of him, and it's when you lead a man upfield right into that back or the linebacker coming up, and you're going to get it right here.
Well,
personal foul.
You talk about a young team losing its poise. We talked about the importance of the turnover, the interception, the penalty, and that's exactly what's happened right now.
Well, see how late the hit is. There's one hit, and there's another hit. And they call it on the late hit on Reggie Mathis.
So back-to-back calls have gone against the winless New Orleans Saints. The Atlanta Falcons trying to capitalize right now. And if you're one of the 12,000 Atlanta fans,
Number 56, defense.
Reggie Mathis.
First down.
You can't afford to let this bother you right now. Defensively, you got to play, keep your poise.
The line of scrimmage, the Saints' 14-yard line. Bartkowski gives it off to Lynn Kane. Thrown down by a host of New Orleans tacklers. And the Saints are angry right now. And the Falcons are getting just as angry. Tommy Myers, the All-Pro, 9-year from Syracuse, the first to hit him. But the Saints are swarming around that football right now. I started to tell you that a sellout here is 71,000, about 12,000 Atlanta fans, so that means there are 60,000 very unhappy folks in this building, which, as you know, is domed, which makes it sound as if we're all in one another's bathroom right now and you can't hear yourself think.
It's very important to keep it simple offensively right now because it's so difficult to hear the count. You don't want to get too cute on the count. You got to be careful there so as not to jump off sides and make a mistake yourself because you're going to get a louder scream from this crowd.
On second down and 9, Bartkowski throws behind the intended receiver, Alfred Jackson. Tommy Myers back there in the vicinity along with Clarence Chapman. The ball thrown behind the receiver, and it brings up third down and 9.
It's important for the Falcons to try to come away from this possession with points. They don't want to blow an opportunity right here.
Well, we talk about this series and the fact, Sonny, that the last 4 games, 4 out of the last 6 games have really gone down to the last 2 minutes, and 3 of them have been of a controversial nature. Tip passes, deflected passes, controversial calls, and that will be one. Lynn Kane, near first down yardage. It'll be in the judgment of referee Jerry Seaman, just near. Reggie Mathis, Dave Weimer in there on the coverage, and it looks like they'll be about a half a yard shy.
What do? They go for it? Do they go for it, or do they look like they're sending in another tight end? They want to go for the first down. It'll be first and goal on about the 4, that they have to go just inside of the 5-yard line to get a first down.
Russ McKeska, number 87, the second-year man from Texas A&M, 6'3", 225 is in, along with Junior Miller, 6'4", 235, the rookie from Nebraska. A double tight end alignment. The running backs are William Andrews and Lynn Kane. And Lynn Kane, behind the block of William Andrews, has an Atlanta first down.
Boy, he just got across he broke that plane to the 5-yard line. That's what they had to get inside. It's going to be close again. Boy, you're taking a look right there from ground level. You see what's happening up front there. A lot of hitting. Boy, this is going to be close.
Well, they'll bring the chains out now for the measurement. You got an update on what's going on in Philadelphia?
Philadelphia is leading Dallas 17-10 now in the 4th quarter. Jaworski just threw a 15-yard pass to Charlie Smith.
I thought he had the first down with his forward progress. They marked it just a little bit short, and that's a big break for the New Orleans Saints.
Certainly is. They dodged a bullet. They dodged a bullet right here. He got inside of the 5, but he didn't get enough for the first down.
By less than the length of the football, the Saints, after that costly interception and even potentially more costly roughing personal foul injury, have gotten the football back. They trail by 6. Short pickup. We talk about the rivalry and the fact these two teams, Sonny, don't like each other very much. Tommy Myers, I think, told you before the game that this is the most physical game of the year. Some of the Saints say it might be the Rams game, but for those defensive players, this, against the Atlanta Falcons, the most physical.
Well, that's because of the rivalry. Exactly what you're talking about. You see Derlin Moore coming off the field there. Like you got a knee or an ankle. Not sure at this point, but he's played a good football game today. New England's come back in front of Baltimore now. They're leading 27-21. That's in the 3rd quarter.
Second down, 8 yards to go. Bartkowski sends Wallace Francis to the top of your screen. Alfred Jenkins to the bottom. Backs are split. Kane along with William Andrews. Pitch back to William Andrews. Tries the sweep on the left side. Gets a block inside the 10 and out of bounds. Tommy Myers, Dave Waymer getting to him, but he had turned the corner and picked up good yardage.
William Andrews coming into this league as a blocking back, and I asked him before the game if he was surprised at the success he's had as a complete back.
Well, no, I figured I had the talent and the know-how to do some of the things that you just mentioned, but to a lot of people, I know that as a blocking back. To myself, I know that a running all-purpose back.
It hasn't surprised you in any way, huh?
Well, no.
They need one. They got it and more. Lynn Kane bucks in across the 7-yard line. Falcons pick up another first down. They've got a 6-point lead and are driving. Dave Washington, 55. Ray Brown, 27 in there on the tackle for the New Orleans Saints defensively.
You know, Andrews may not have surprised himself, but he surprised a lot of other people around the league at the success he's had and what a complete football player that he is.
Sonny, the Falcons had 12 first downs in the first half. They've got 3 now in the second half. You look at Kane, who has, as you see in the graphic, 2 100-yard games so far this season.
Our final, Philadelphia beat Dallas 17-10.
They go up top in the NFC East by a full game over the Cowboys, and now Dallas has a loss within the division as well. The eye is stacked, 1st and 7. 1st and goal from the 7. Bartkowski up top. Incomplete, intended for Alfred Jenkins, who gave it his all.
Strange first down call. Unusual first down call. You're 1st and goal inside of the 4-yard line, and you throw, well, you're at the 7-yard line, and you throw the football on 1st down. And almost a miraculous catch right then. Not quite.
The injured player is Dave Waymer, number 44, the rookie from Notre Dame. When we come back, there's 5:54 left to go on the clock. The Falcons by 6 over the Saints, and Atlanta's on the move. 44, the rookie cornerback from Notre Dame. He remains in the lineup. Sonny, Don Shula used to say when you're the visiting team, there is one way to silence the home crowd and to try and demoralize the home team, and that's with a long, sustained scoring drive, but there is another way.
Well, also right here, when you got 1st and goal to go, you want to drive the ball into the end zone. Using your offensive line, you can demoralize the team that way. Just to throw the touchdown pass is, in what I consider, a dangerous call, because you may throw an incompleted pass, and look what happens here. You may have an interception. You set up another tough situation for yourself.
2nd and goal from the 7. Bartkowski splits his running backs on the draw play. Inside handoff. William Andrews tries to knife his way across the 5, close to the 5-yard line. Reggie Mathis, Tommy Myers bring him down on the tackle.
See, if they'd run that play on 1st down, it'd have been a better play, because now you have 2nd and 5 instead of 2nd and 7 as they had.
Take a look from ground level now. Bartkowski, look at the blocking and the hitting down there in the pits.
Yes, a quick draw type of play, a little trap on the play, but they didn't go for the play action fake then. There's no place for those linebackers to go when they're lined up almost in the end zone to begin with.
They had it 1st and goal from the 7. It's now 3rd and goal from the 5. Slot to the right side, lone running back. Francis wide left, running back is Andrews. Bartkowski looks in the end zone, confusion on the play, and a penalty flag. Well, we'll let Jerry Seaman, the referee, straighten this one out. I actually thought, Sonny, that the Atlanta receiver ran the wrong route. It looked like he was trying to turn it inside. The defender forced him to go outside. Bartkowski thought the receiver was going outside, and that's where the pass went.
And that's what Seaman is calling, too. The defender came in, and there was some contact made, but it wasn't beyond the 5-yard zone. He gets one hit. Let's see what the call is.
Number 24, defense.
He's calling holding. He didn't call pass interference. He called holding.
So the Falcons get another big break. They had it 3rd and goal from the 5. It's now 1st and goal from the 2. 2 tight ends are in. Eye stack. Lynn Kane close to the goal line, stacked up there by number 55 for the New Orleans Saints. First man to get to him was David Washington.
Have another final end with 16 seconds left. Cleveland scored, trailing 21-20. They score. 46-yard pass from Brian Sipe to Dave Logan, a second touchdown pass. It's now Cleveland 26, Green Bay 21.
We've got 4:50 to go in the third quarter here. Atlanta's on top by 6, and they are driving. They have it now on about the 1.5-yard line. You can see everybody lined up in tight, I formation. The backs are Kane and Andrews for the Falcons. Up, back, up, and close to the goal line, but not in yet. Goes Lynn Kane, the second-year man from USC. Stacked up by the middle of that defensive front for the Saints. Barry Bennett and Elix Price, 75 in there. Dave Washington from behind, and Tommy Myers came in. Now that Cleveland score is final, Sonny.
Yes, it is final. 26-21. Green Bay led in that game a couple of times, but Cleveland came back. 2 touchdown passes by Brian Sipe.
Look at the scoring, the way it went. Cleveland gets 10 points in the second quarter, 13 points in the fourth quarter. Falcons now, third down, goal to go from the 1. Same formation, double tight end. You look from ground level. Touchdown, Lynn Kane. Behind the block of William Andrews, and the Falcons break it open. And I'll tell you what, you can hear those 12,000 Atlanta fans.
Well, you certainly can. The big play on that thing was the holding call on Chapman, because the Falcons would have had to settle for the field goal. Here he is, Kane to pitch out following Andrews, and Andrews throwing an excellent block that time on Chapman, freeing Kane to get in the end zone.
Not to mention the second interception on Archie Manning as they go 18 yards in 8 plays, as Sonny pointed out quite correctly, aided by that holding call. It's a 12-point lead, and Timmy Mazzetti will try to make it 13. He does. 4:08 left to go in the third quarter. The winless New Orleans Saints have fallen behind after holding a 1-point lead at halftime. Atlanta by 13. They lead it 27-14. Falcons trying to stay 1 game behind the Rams in the NFC West. Scoring drive, the big interception, the second one the Falcons have picked off against Archie Manning, but of course the key call had to be the holding call.
The holding call, yes, because they gave him a first and goal again, and they ended up getting a touchdown out of it. Again, loss of poise a little bit, making the mistakes that hurt you.
Tim Mazzetti all set to kick it off from the Falcons' 35-yard line. Back deep, Rich Maudie, number 84. They call him the Pete Rose of football here in New Orleans. A beautiful end-over-end kick. Maudie will field it 3 yards deep and boot it out. He's got to take it now. And he was 1 block away. 1 block away from busting it. Number 25, Ray Strong, 5'9", from Nevada, Las Vegas, the man that stopped him. Let's take a look at isolation.
We can take a look at Ray Strong. Loves to cover kicks. He goes down, the outside man, contain. You see him right there. He kind of switches position, comes in, and good tackle, open field tackle. Marty had a long way to run if he didn't make the tackle.
And there you see the ball slipping through the hands.
But a lot of times people relax when that happens. Defensive people relax a little bit because of the bobble.
Manning operates from a slot to the left side. Icarus in the slot, goes up top. It's picked off by the Falcons again. That's 3 in a row. That's number 58, Joel Williams, and he's close. He may go. Just cut down at the last minute. Archie Manning, the difference between that and a Joel Williams touchdown. And
they know he's got to put it up. They got the lead they needed. Manning he has time to throw the football, but the whole thing about it is when you got nothing else going and you got to put it up, you're going to have this happen to you. And Williams, boy, he shows me a little something running. That's his second interception. He's breaking tackles, and finally Manning has to make the play.
Take another look as Archie drops back, tried to force the ball to Icarus, and Williams was right there, number 58, with his second big INT of the afternoon. And just a couple of seconds after the Falcons score and kick off, 1 play later, they come right back. They've got it first and goal again. This time from the 8-yard line. Wallace Francis out wide to the left side. Alfred Jenkins split to the right side. Pitchback goes to Lynn Kane behind William Andrews. Inside the 5-4 down to the 3-yard line. Fights his way, the former USC Trojan Lynn Kane.
The thing about you have to feel sorry, and any quarterback does, and having been a quarterback in that position, your team gets down, you can't run the ball, you can't move the ball on the ground anyway. The only thing you can do is put the ball up. The defense knows it, they got the lead, they play a little softer, And exactly what happens, you keep turning the ball over.
Well, you see this afternoon, Sonny, the poise of the Atlanta Falcons. After no turnovers in the first half, the Saints now have been victimized 3 times. Credit, of course, the Atlanta defense. It's now 2nd down and goal from the 3. Double tight end. Bartkowski all alone. Junior Miller. Touchdown, Atlanta. Watch this. Well, Junior Miller came in with 3 touchdown catches, and that is number 4. Let's take another look. Good call.
And Steve Bartkowski, coming into this game, he was 1 shy of tying the Falcon record of 57 touchdown passes. He's thrown 3 today. He's broken the record, and this one, he won't have an easier one than this one because everyone was geared just to stop the run, and you saw how open Miller was.
That's the 2nd touchdown catch of the afternoon for Junior Miller, so he has 5 on the season. Tim Mazzetti, will up that Atlanta lead. It's perfect. 2:57 left to go in the 3rd quarter. The Falcons now have struck quickly within 30 seconds, and they have broken this football game open. What once was a 1-point New Orleans Saints advantage, 14-13 at the intermission, is now a 20-point Atlanta lead. The Falcons 34 and the New Orleans Saints 14. And as we were talking about, Sonny, the difference is whether or not this young New Orleans team, 0-6, could maintain their poise in the face of adversity. They hung in there tough in the first half. They led by a point. It looked for a while like they might be able to capitalize on the missed extra point by Tim Mazzetti. As you take a look at other action around the NFL today, the scores that Sonny has already given you, that now a final. So now the New Orleans Saints, in the face of 3 interceptions, appear to be collapsing a little bit. They've fallen 20 points behind, and they've got about 18 minutes of football left. And that's a big deficit when you're 0-6.
Well, it certainly is, and you saw that Washington final up there. That's kind of unusual. They got a little revenge out of the Cardinals, knocking them out of the playoffs last year. But that's the same team. The Cardinals had scored 40 points here against the Saints, being shut out today.
You know, both of those teams are kind of ironic. Washington goes into Philadelphia and loses there. The Eagles go into St. Louis. Cardinals upset them there. That's going to be an interesting division, that NFC East.
Well, the big one today, obviously, was the Dallas-Philadelphia game, and Philadelphia coming out on top in that one, 17-10.
Don't think for a moment that the LA Rams, who are playing in San Francisco, are not watching the scoreboard on this one, because they know that these Falcons trying to stay 1 game behind in the NFC West if the Rams were to win. Of course, if the 49ers were to upset Los Angeles, Atlanta would be in a tie. That game is just getting underway, by the way. Tim Mazzetti boots it away. Rich Maudie had some trouble with the last one, fields this one cleanly at the 4. And as the headhunters go out, Maudie brings it out to the 30. Archie Manning now trails by 20. Ray Strong, unbelievable. This guy loves to hit. Take a look on the isolation at Ray Strong.
Again, Ray Strong going down on the coverage. He gets by his man trying to block him there. He escapes him, gets down, gets involved in the play, coming back outside and gets in on the tackle again. Boy, he's like Maudie. Maudie and Strong is quite a matchup, isn't it?
Let's keep our eye on number 58, the right side linebacker, Joel Williams, who has 2 interceptions, Sonny, this quarter. He had 8 coming in, so he's got 10 on the season for Atlanta. Manning, obviously down by 20, has to go up top, and he does. Tony Galbraith looks for some blockers and finds none. Barely back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard at the 31. Goes the 5-year man from Missouri. And Sonny, guess who made the tackle?
He made all kinds of moves that time just to get a yard, and the guy that made the last 2 plays and the big plays, I think they made him mad when they called that pass interference on him, because he come up with 2 interceptions and he makes the tackle on this one.
From ground level, as if you're the left side cornerback of the Atlanta Falcons.
There you go. You take a look. He's moving back inside, and watch the number 58 come into view here. There he is. 58 and 50, Curry.
They came to play. 2nd down and 9, the 2-minute mark in the 3rd quarter. Manning up top, floods the left side, pumps to Galbraith, in and out of his hands at the 36, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 9. Bob Glazebrook from Fresno State back there on the coverage, and the natives are getting a little restless.
You want another little surprise as we're taking a look at Manning? The Chicago Bears are leading the Detroit Lions 24-0. It's in the 4th quarter.
What is it you used to say on any given Sunday?
Oh, I hate to say that, but you can see it happening throughout the National Football League every Sunday it happens.
That game, of course, featuring two of the great running backs. One is already great and one will be.
Yes, sir. New England leading Baltimore in the fourth quarter, 30-21. Miami leading Buffalo, 17-14.
Third down and 9 for Manning. Splits the running backs. Wide receivers left and right. He needs 9. He's going for 7. Up top. Intended for Ike Harris. Incomplete. Down at about the 25-yard line. And Kenny Johnson from Mississippi State, a rookie, back there step for step, Sonny, with Ike Harris.
Well, yes, because they realize they're trying to make something happen offensively right now. They need a big play. Remember at one time in this game, this man right here was 14 out of 15 in completions, and there he ends up in this quarter getting 3 interceptions.
Kind of a strange play call, though. You really need the first down there more than you need the touchdown because you're down by 20 points. Erxleben kicks it away.
Look
Reggie
out.
Smith, they've got the wall set up for him. A saving tackle by number 55 for the New Orleans Saints. That's Dave Washington, and that was the smallest player in the NFL, Reggie Smith. But we've got a flag down at the 40-yard line of the New Orleans Saints.
Illegal man downfield. That's usually what you get on this play. Somebody going downfield because the outside receivers, and I think that...
Ineligible downfield. Number 41. Kicking team, penalty decline, first down, receivers.
That's Jimmy Rogers, 1 year out of Oklahoma. Barry Switzer doesn't teach you that, does he?
No, but they got good field position again. There it is, 24-7. Detroit finally scored their first touchdown in the fourth quarter.
Falcons now operate first and 10 from their own 45-yard line. Bartkowski sends wide receivers left and right. Kane and William Andrews in I formation. A 20-point lead. That's Lynn Kane. He bucks his way across the 45 up near midfield at about the 49. Groom, 78 from Tennessee Tech, in there on the tackle for the New Orleans Saints. Saints have got to pull together right now and stop the Atlanta Falcons, Sonny. Maybe try and force some kind of a turnover, obviously get the ball back, but they can't allow Atlanta really to get another 20 yards and allow Mazzetti in field goal range with his 20-point lead.
They're just going to sit on the ball now. They're going to pick their spots to throw it, little play action passes, but they want to keep that clock running. This has been a long third quarter.
Jenkins to the near side. Wallace Francis to the far side. Kane and Andrews are split. It's second down and 7. Lynn Kane back to the line of scrimmage and maybe 1. He approaches midfield in the grasp of Ray Brown.
The type of passes they'll throw now, high percentage throws. They don't want to get the Saints back in the football game. He'll be very careful with the ball because they can afford to throw the ball away and kick it away.
Sure, they've got John James, who until today had not put it into the end zone.
Yeah, we got him today, though. I asked him if he'd ever hit this tower here, the big screen up in the middle of this stadium, and he said he had a number of times in practice.
This should be the final play of the third quarter. It's 3rd and 5, and Bartkowski to pass. Has got to the tight end, Wallace Francis, and he's got the first down. The flanker receiver, that's Wallace Francis, however, and he's inside the 35-yard line of the Saints in the grasp of Tommy Myers.
And you notice the type of pass he threw, a little pattern coming underneath.
So the Falcons enjoying a 20-point lead. That's the end of the third quarter with the score, Atlanta 34 and New Orleans 14. Now this word from your local station. That's what this marvelous structure, the Superdome, looks like from the outside. If you look closely, that's our hotel in the lower right-hand corner. And if you look even closer, Sonny's room was 2345.
Look at that. I tell you what, these Saints fans are really something. Here's Team 0-6, trailing 34-14. They're still having a good time pulling for their football team.
Well, the Atlanta Falcons scored 21 points in the third quarter. It's not beyond the realm of possibility that the Saints, led by Archie Manning, who had an extremely hot hand in the first half, in fact only had one incompletion and had 2 touchdown passes, could bring this team back. The problem is right now Atlanta has the football, and they have 1st and 10 to go on the New Orleans Saints 36-yard line, and they have a 20-point lead. Bartkowski hands off to Lynn Kane. William Andrews throws the block, and Lynn Kane slashes his way close to the 31-yard line of the New Orleans Saints.
Steve Bartkowski, 15 out of 27, 187 yards, 4 touchdowns. The record holder right now. Went right by Bob Berry in a hurry, didn't he? Coming in trailing 1-4 today.
And Steve Bartkowski, as we mentioned previously on the broadcast, Sonny, not the up-and-down quarterback of the earlier years. Very consistent, very steady performer.
Mature performer, I think, is a better word too, because he has matured as a quarterback. He's utilizing has a lot of weapons now.
On 2nd and 6, Bartkowski's got Jenkins, and he's got a Falcon first down. Inside the 20-yard line at the 17.5. Jenkins turned around the rookie, Dave Waymer from Notre Dame. First down, Atlanta.
And that was an example right there of the maturity of Steve Bartkowski going back. He's under some pressure by Grooms, and he throws the ball real early that time, and they beat David Waymer again. He's picking on the rookie from Notre Dame. You see him setting up. I tell you, he throws that ball going backwards, but he's got such a gun, he can afford to do that.
Jenkins came into this game with 16 receptions, 342 yards, averaging about 19 yards every time he touched the football. That was a pickup of 15 yards and another Atlanta first down. William Andrews bucks his way near the 15-yard line in the grasp of Elix Price.
And they got the clock running for him. Well, the mistakes again. You look around the league, the teams that are struggling, losing, and you look at their newspapers and you see where, boy, look at that score. Kansas City, 23-17 over Denver in the fourth quarter. But you look in the newspapers and you see the same things, Jim. Teams inconsistent, injuries are hurting them, we're beating ourselves, we don't play with enough emotion, and it's the same throughout the league. But I don't think you can fault the Saints today playing with emotion, because they have throughout this football game.
2nd down and 8 for the Falcons. Francis to the near side. Jenkins at the top of your screen. William Andrews, an offensive thrust behind the line, gets in close to the 13-yard line. They needed 8. He picks up 2. It'll bring up 3rd down and 6.
But what I was touching upon, mistakes beating you. The thing that's hurt the Saints today are the 3 turnovers, the 3 interceptions that they gave the Falcons the football. They were in the football game till they started making mistakes, and that's something that it's hard to work your way back out of.
Dick Nolan thought that his Saints had a chance in this ball game if they played with the same kind of intensity they played with against the Detroit Lions, even though they lost to the Lions last week. The Saints had that intensity, as Sonny points out, until the 3 turnovers, which would cost the Saints heavily. Credit the Falcons, though, because obviously they have forced those turnovers. 3rd down and 6. Bartkowski on the draw play. William Andrews has got some running room, and he's inside the 10, he's inside the 5, and he's got the touchdown, Atlanta. William Andrews rambles for the touchdown from the 16-yard line, and Atlanta, in a blowout, goes up 40-14.
I tell you, the thing that impresses me about William Andrews is he runs, and you hear it a lot, he runs north and south. And you see the confidence that they have, because this is a 3rd and 6 call, and they go to the draw play, and he just sprints to the end zone.
He went coast to coast that time, as they say, and he outrun Tommy Myers. They go 55 yards in 8 plays. They used up 3 minutes and 54 seconds, and Tim Mazzetti now will try to make it a whopping Falcon lead. Snap, spot, kick, good. Mazzetti nails it. We've got 12:41 left to go in the Superdome. The Atlanta Saints on their way to their 7th consecutive loss. The Falcons trying to catch the LA Rams in the NFC West. When we come back, Atlanta 41, New Orleans 14. In overrunning the Saints here in the second half, the Falcons have scored 28 points in under 18 minutes.
Yeah, they have, and you're looking at Nolan. There's nothing you can do when it starts mushing. Every mistake mushrooms into it, and you got to go back out. You don't quit. You got to put it up, and Archie Manning is not going to. And boy, what a tough job it is to go out and call plays and throw the football into a maze of people back there when they got this kind of lead and everything's going their way. But you have to, I tell you one thing, Falcons had respect. They said they came into this game scared, and they were. They won a football game in the first half, but as you said, the big 28 points here in the second half been too much for the Saints to contend with.
That's Rich Maudie, 84, fielding Tim Mazzetti's punt in the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Saints. 12:36 left to go in this football game, as you see the book on the Atlanta Falcons scoring drive.
And the last one was a 3rd and 6 call. And that's the thing, that when you get things going your way, they expect in the past you're going to draw play. You have to credit a lot of that to Andrews' ability to run with the football. And he impresses me every time I see him play.
So the Saints now on the short end of a 41-14 score. Manning still in there at quarterback. Wide receivers left and right. Will put it up practically every play. Goes underneath. And he's got Jimmy Rogers. And Rogers is shy of first down yardage in the grasp of Buddy Curry.
They're going to give him every one of those passes he wants. Anytime that he wants to throw underneath those linebackers, they're going to let him. He'd like to find somebody to break one of those.
Well, unless Manning can pull out some miracle finish here, the streak will be ended. The last 3 games here at the Superdome between the Falcons and the Saints have gone right down to the final minute, seesawing back and forth with pass interference called, tip passes, deflected passes.
Well, go ahead, Jim. Go out on the line. Say it's not going to be there.
11:54 to go. Manning on the draw play to Jimmy Rogers. Good hole as the Falcons are playing prevent defense all the way. It's a first down for the New Orleans Saints. Bob Glazebrook pulls down number 41, Jimmy Rogers, the running back from Oklahoma.
Here it is, the draw play, the same play that Andrews scored on. This time Jimmy Rogers finds some daylight. It's all the way to Pridemore, the safety man.
And a good call by Archie Manning, who calls, by the way, all of his own plays. 1st and 10 from the 41 of the New Orleans Saints. They trail 41-14, and we've got 11:22 left in this football game. And now
Falcons didn't have enough people on the field. They called a timeout. They had to get another man out there. It must have been an equipment problem.
Well, Joel Williams has certainly been the man dominant on the field defensively for the Atlanta Falcons today. He's come up with 2 big interceptions, and he leads this team in quarterback sacks. You've got some attendance figures there.
Boy, how about this? Sold tickets today, 71,133. Present, 62,651. No shows. Boy, they missed a wild one, didn't they? 8,482 no shows.
They had to be Saints no shows because all the 12,000 Atlanta folks are here and they are boisterous. That one's still going on.
30-21 now. New England over Baltimore.
That AFC Eastern race with Miami beating Buffalo is topsy-turvy once again also.
17-14 in that. Did we get a final on that? It was a final, 17-14. San Diego leading the New York Giants 7-0 in the second quarter.
Mike Harris wide to the left side. Wes Chandler wide to the right side. Manning looks for protection, gets the ball to Galbraith, almost intercepted. Tony Galbraith in and out of his hands and almost picked off by Atlanta for what would have been their 4th INT of the afternoon. Clock is stopped on the incompleted pass. 11:16 to go.
Kenny Johnson saying, give me one of those things, Williams. Where are you getting all of them, Joel? I don't need to get an interception. He almost jumped in there. He's motioned. I think what does he want? He may want the nickel defense. Yeah, now he wanted Bias to come in for him. He's going out.
Second down.
Lawrence is coming in.
Second down and 10 yards to go. Harris to the near side. Chandler to the top of your screen. Running backs are split. Manning will put it up. Sideline right, that's Jimmy Rogers. And he busted across midfield and a first down for the Saints. Brought down by about 6 swarming Atlanta Falcon jerseys. Want to bet that somewhere in the middle of that pile is number 58? Along with Tom Pridemore, 27, a third-year man from West Virginia. Joel Williams in there on the tackle.
Well, what excellent play they've gotten out of their linebackers. Young linebackers, very aggressive linebackers. There he is. Joel Williams, number 58, but also Buddy Curry, number 50, out of Carolina.
That last play good for 12 yards and a Saints first down. 10.5 left to go in the game. Slot to the left side. Harris is in the slot. Manning at the controls. The nickel defense for the Falcons up by a bunch. Throws underneath to Jimmy Rogers, close to the 40-yard line of the Atlanta Falcons. Archie content now to take what the defense of the Falcons will give him.
Well, he's going to have to do that, but they're doing what they want to. They're bending a little bit. They're giving him the underneath patterns. He's been able to complete that pattern, but if he tries to force it long into coverage, he's going to have some problems.
Pickup of 6 yards on the play brings up 2nd down and 4. Line of scrimmage, the 41-yard line.
There's the rookies. Look at that. Junior Miller, Al Richardson. Their problem with Al Richardson, he's got that chronic knee problem. They're somewhat concerned with that. Buddy Curry, Johnson, and Larkin.
Harris to the left side. Chandler to the top of the screen. Manning needs 4 for the first down. Needs a bunch, and he's got his man over the middle. That's number 87, Larry Hardy. And that's a Saints first down inside the Falcon 5. The third-year man from Jackson State outran Bob Glazebrook, number 36. And that's Manning's biggest pickup, Sonny, of the second half.
Just as soon as you go to sleep, they went into a double zone. They double the outside receivers, and you notice he just takes something off the ball, lays it very softly down the middle, and it takes a while for Pridemore and Glazebrook to get back around Hardy. Big pickup inside of the 5-yard line. You can't go to sleep on Archie Manning. I told you when he came back on the field that he wasn't going to quit anyway.
37 yards on that completion. First and goal from the 4-yard line. Manning at the controls. Running back, Jack Holmes, 45. And Jimmy Rogers, 41. Harris in motion. This is Jimmy Rogers behind the Tony Galbraith block. Cut down at the 5. Loose football. It's still loose over there. A mad scramble for it. And the Falcon rooters say they've got it off the bottom of the pile, number 63.
They never made the exchange. They never made the... Watch this right here. He never reaches... He's fumbling the ball. Rogers fumbling it as he's coming out. He never had control of the football, and then it's Buddy Curry, everybody around the football. Mike Zealy finally comes up with it.
So that's the 4th turnover. 3 interceptions, 1 fumble against the New Orleans Saints in the second half. Conversely, 28 points have been scored by the Atlanta Falcons, taking advantage. You take a look at ground level.
You see, he never had the control there.
The ball is loose. Zealy recovers. When we come right back, Atlanta by a bunch.
Yes.
That's the story of the second half, Jordan.
Yes, it is. The 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions and a fumble. And here they give up a score because they were down inside of the 5, and they give up a score.
Remember now, it was 14-13 New Orleans at the intermission. Bartkowski at the controls, 16 of 28, 202 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Running backs are split. This is Lynn Kane from USC behind a wall of blockers, and the wall of tacklers wins out. 8:40 and counting, scoreboard and clock in the Atlanta Falcons' favor.
Yeah, they're just going to run it now, and they get it running down to 8:35, and just keep the clock running. Just 4 yards on the game.
Coming in, the Falcons had a 15-7 edge the last 23, 22 times that these two teams have played. There's an early score in San Francisco, and the Rams were favored by 10.
Well, you show that to the Falcons, and they may get another quick touchdown.
After a scoreless first quarter out in San Francisco. Quick handoff. James Mayberry from Colorado. And in first down yardage, this should be a face mask. Fettersfield.
That must be Mayberry's play, the misdirection play. That must be the only play he works on, because Warren Myers is upset there about the face mask call. But Mayberry's come in. He's run that play a couple of times and been successful with it each time.
We started to say that the Falcons had won 15 of the last 22 meetings and had a 15-7 edge.
Let's see if we can pick up the face mask here. Who's the guilty party? Fettersfield is in. Yeah, Fettersfield right there. Joe Fettersfield, the middle linebacker. He had him all the way. I think Tommy Myers was complaining about, I didn't grab his face mask. Me? I didn't do it. They didn't say that Fettersfield had it to begin with.
Foul, face mask, number 58, defense. First down.
As they say, when a baseball player hits a home run, he got all of it. Fettersfield got all of the face mask.
He did.
So the Falcons will have won 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams, and 16 out of 7. There's the final in, Sonny.
37-21. Oh, big afternoon. Chuck Foreman scored the last touchdown for New England.
This is Lynn Kane looking for anybody to block. Bartkowski comes up with a block, and Kane gets back to the line of scrimmage and fights his way across the 25 up to maybe the 28-yard line before Joe Fetterspiel, without the face mask, pulls him down.
He ran off about 10 seconds on the clock running around the way he did. Another final. Kansas City beating Denver 23-17. Kansas City's played 2 good football games back-to-back now. Knocking off Houston last week.
Houston going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That'll be an interesting game this afternoon also.
That's a must situation for Houston.
And of course they've got a new tight end, Dave Casper, that they picked up this week.
That can't hurt him.
Bartkowski looking at 2nd down and 6. Falcons showing blitz but do not. This is Mayberry again. Bucks across the left side, across the 30-yard line, up in the vicinity of the 32 and maybe the 33. You know, these two teams split last year. Pickup of 4, it'll bring up 3rd and 2. Last year, Atlanta won here in overtime, 40-34, and New Orleans goes up to Atlanta and upsets the Falcons 37-6.
And it could be very well the same way again. It could be. They go at each other. I'll tell you one thing. 12,000 people have remained. We don't have 62,000 left here now because a lot of the Saint fans have cleared out.
Well, let's see. They've got the rematch in Atlanta on Sunday, November the 16th. 3rd down and 2, and that's a first down for the Falcons. Lynn Kane in the grasp of Barry Bennett.
Is it a first down? It's going to be close, I think. Your eyes are better than mine, Joe. It's going to be close. They may. What are they doing? They're going to have to kick it away. Are they going to kick it away? They're taking out Steve Bartkowski. Mike Morosky, they did get a first down. And Morosky is coming into play. Well, what an outstanding day. Steve is actually 4 touchdown passes.
Steve was 16 of 28 for 202 yards in those 4 scoring strikes that Sonny alluded to. Line of scrimmage with that first down now will be the 34-yard line of the Atlanta Falcons. They lead at 41-14, and it's 1st and 10 from that point. The clock has gone a little wacky.
They're bringing in, making some other changes. Chuck Herman has come in at guard for Dave Scott.
Lynn Kane is checked out. Ray Strong has come in. And James Mayberry has replaced William Andrews. So we'll close the book on Kane, Andrews, and Bartkowski in just a couple of seconds. Of course, this is a double-header day on CBS for most of you. Later tonight on CBS.
Now in the 2nd quarter. And another final. The Bears do it to Detroit Lions, 24-7.
1st and 10. Morosky at the controls, number 15 for the Atlanta Falcons after a fine performance by Steve Bartkowski. This is James Mayberry from Colorado, up across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Ray Brown from West Texas State knifed him down.
Yeah, this is when it's hard to give the effort. When you're down this way defensively, you know what's going to happen. They're going to run it at you. You're just hoping they don't block you so you can make a play.
Under 4 minutes to go, and by the time the clock ticks down, there'll be nothing but 12,000 in a sea of red Falcon rooters left in the Superdome.
That's right. They've made a lot of noise here, though, haven't they?
They have been heard from, and their football team has as well. 3:40 and counting. Wide receivers left and right. The backs are split. They're content to use up as much time, and James Mayberry wants to go for more. He cuts it back and almost broke it. His longest run from scrimmage, Reggie Mathis, in there on the tackle with the rookie from Notre Dame, Dave Weimer. Now Mayberry coming in had only carried the ball 2 times for a total of 7 yards. His longest was for 5 yards. This his longest run of the season. And he showed some good acceleration.
Well, that's the thing. You bring in fresh people offensively. When you're way ahead, you still got your defensive team out there intact, but they're struggling, and they're going through the motions, and that's an example right there. A man making a big run against them. 24 yards.
There are your Atlanta fans. They'll have a long but a very happy ride.
That's right.
Back to that great city of the South. Backs are split. Mayberry and Strong. Morosky at the helm. behind the block of Chuck Carreel at center. Inside handoff is Mayberry. Boy, he's like a bowling ball bouncing off people in the interior line. 2.5 to go in the football game.
San Diego leading the New York Giants 14-0 in the second quarter.
Giants a team much like the Saints, Sonny. If they fall behind early and big, that game will be over very soon.
Oh, but we had an exciting football game in the first half here, but that you're right. It's tough for any team. You're looking at that Houston score there.
Ken Stabler and Dave Casper, two ex-Oakland Raiders, now under Bum Phillips' tutorage.
It's been all Tony Fritsch today, though. 2 field goals. Roski going over. Coach says, don't come over here and ask me for a good play now. You got the easy calls.
We're at the 2-minute warning. The Atlanta Falcons trying to stay within 1 game of the Los Angeles Rams in the NFC West. A blowout over the winless and so remaining New Orleans Saints.
Race 17 yards to bring LA from behind against San Francisco to take a 7-3 lead in that game.
And of course, that of particular interest to the Atlanta rooters who are watching here. That'll be coming up next on CBS. The Rams a 1-game lead at the moment over the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta will win and up the record to 4-3 this afternoon here at the Superdome. There is a very disconsolate coach, Dick Nolan, whose team will fall to 0-7.
Can have nothing but compassion for people like this. People that go out and work as hard as they do and just can't get it all on, as we say in the South, untracked.
He can do everything but run and block and catch and pass.
That's right.
So we're at the 2-minute warning. Again, the Falcons with this win, should the Rams win, will stay within 1 game of the NFC Western Division leaders. Reggie Smith, the smallest man in the NFL to the top of your screen with the football, however. That's Anthony Anderson, brought down by Ray Brown. Ray Brown has put a good game defensively for the New Orleans Saints, as has Tommy Myers, as has number 56, Reggie Mathis.
Boy, they got to be pleased with the performance of their team. You see Jerry Glanville there talking with Lehman Bennett. He's got a lot of his substitutes in now, getting a little work. Anderson in there. Chuck Carreel at center now for Jeff Van Note. Reggie Smith in. Mayberry. It's going to be... The Rams are going to have their hands full when they come against the Atlanta Falcons.
No question about it. Pitch back to Anthony Anderson behind the James Mayberry block, and down he grows in the grasp of number 75, Elix Price. And that'll bring up a 3rd down situation and a long yardage for the Falcons, who are watching the clock tick down. You know, Sonny, this Atlanta Falcon team, as you take a look at the current standings in the NFC West right now, Atlanta will jump up to 4-3, as we have told you. And many of you will see the Rams and the San Francisco 49ers next. And the Saints, of course, go to a dismal 0-7. The Falcons used to win games barely because of their defense. Now they're doing it with balance and with offense. Steve Bartkowski settled down, a complete quarterback, and no longer the hot and cold team, much more consistent with 35 seconds to go. On 4th and 12, and the Falcons will keep the football. They give to James Mayberry, who will try to use up 12 seconds. Loose football.
I think the people you can give credit to here, Tom Gratz, Eddie LeBaron, what a job they've done, what drafts they've had in bringing their people along, and they've just got the best football players and the people they needed to win with.
Let's give credit to our producer, Marvin Muse, and our director, Andy Kindle. There's your score when we come right back. Wager that William Andrews for Atlanta has rushed for more yardage than the Saints team put together this afternoon.
Only 36 yards rushing by the Saints, and we knew that coming in, and that's why the 3 interceptions as we look at the people that have made this all possible. Charles H. Milton and our producer Marvin Muse, and what a good job. Andy Kendall.
When these two NFC Western rivals get together, Manning to put it up. And in the grasp of, and down he goes, number 77. Edgar Fields for the Falcons. And what a typical way to end the game, Sonny, almost the way we began at the top of the telecast with Archie Manning being sacked.
Well, that's the thing that's plagued him, because exactly what you talked about, only the 36 yards rushing.
We've got 18 seconds left to go in this game. The timeout with the score, the Falcons 41, New Orleans 14.
Didn't get his 100 yards today. 64 yards and 14 carries. Kane 45 and 17, and James Mayberry 55 yards and only 6 carries.
Manning to put it up on 2nd down and 19. Scrambles, looks to come back against the flow. Deflected by one of the Atlanta Falcons. Intended for Jimmy Rogers, number 41. That's Mike Zealy, number 63, who deflected that Manning pass. Zealy with 1 fumble recovery. In fact, the only fumble of the football game. And, of course, that's one of the 4 turnovers that has led to a 28-point Atlanta second half, and that's the difference in the football game.
Boy, you would wonder why Archie would put the thing up there. He's just prolonging it, isn't he?
Also, Sonny, you're risking injury to one of the NFL's better quarterbacks right now with 11 seconds in the game, obviously way out of hand.
Well, I'm sure that you could say, why is he still in the football game to begin with? But knowing Archie Manning, I know that he doesn't want to come out of the football game.
You sure would hate to see him get hurt, though, with 11 seconds left to go. They flood the left side, everybody but Dick Nolan going out. And he goes for the home run ball, and it might be closer to Dick Nolan. Wes Chandler comes up with a great grab with 3, 2, 1, and that's it. The game will end on that note. Archie Manning completing a long 40-yard bomb to Wes Chandler, who couldn't carry it in. The Falcons will up their record to 4-3. The Saints will drop to 0-7. And that's the story from the Superdome here in New Orleans. For Sonny Jurgensen, I'm Jim Kelly, CBS Sports, saying so long from the New Orleans Superdome. The NFL on CBS will continue after this word from your local station.